On YouTube.
All right, guys. So we are live. I got a special guest with me today. I sent out a few links to a few other friends as well. Maybe they'll join us in not the too distant future. Um, got a lot of stuff coming about, a lot that's going on within the DigiByte community, um, and we're about to get into it a little bit. So right now, I would like to welcome Qubit House, aka Winston, the CEO and founder of Qubit House. So what's good, man? I hope you're getting some sleep right now because there is a lot going on with DigiByte and the NFTs and the NFT marketplace. The DigiAssetX just announced that they were going to be shutting down. So the future of NFTs on DigiByte is going to be a major topic in the not too distant future. I just found out of this yesterday and thought that this was worth more to the community than just a halfway written tweet for everyone to decipher, when not even the creators on where even the creators weren't even informed of this, found out through other means. And then it just what is the future? Where are we going with NFTs and with DigiByte, right? Because DigiAssetX.com, when is that now said to shut down? Is that in 4 months, 6 months, 1 month?
I want to say it's set to shut down in the next 4 to 6 months. So that means DigiByte as a whole, our community, we won't have NFTs. I've supposedly they're saying it's going to be a year or so before we do see another marketplace. That's a conversation we'll get into here in a little bit. But you and I both know it's going to be at least minimum 2 years, Dave.
Well, I say a year or two because there are different things that have to go on, right? So we have 8.22 that's only been discussed forever. That has to launch. Then Rosetta has to launch with Renzo, the desktop wallet has to launch, and then with the Dex to launch. I honestly think that there's more at play here than what the public or you or I know. So I think that there's going to be more integration later that's going to overlap and integrate from different things, from the DEX to the desktop wallet, then to NFTs. But I do understand that, like with the closure, with the shutdown of DigiAssetX, I do understand that the NFT is actually held on chain through IPFS. So that is not going away. If you own the NFT, I do believe that I would love to have Matthew on to speak of this.
I don't think
no.
I don't think Matthew's coming on.
Well. I'm just to calm people down with the NFTs that they currently hold. Know that it is on chain, and that any integration to come in the future, you will be able to import that data, that information, to still custody your NFT, so long as it is a V3 wallet, which it seems like that's what Renzo is doing.
Yeah. So
it's like just a place to park it, to keep it.
You're essentially right. You're essentially right. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I want to talk to the Qubit House community about, and more specifically the DigiByte community. For anyone that owns NFTs of any project or of any asset on the platform, is the fact that you will still be able to access your NFTs. They are not just on DigiAssetX; they're on the DigiByte blockchain. But the only problem that I'm running into right now as a creator is, it's a hassle because I'm going to have to mint over 2,000 smart contracts. I'm going to have to that's the thing that I was talking about in the space yesterday. I could give a shit less about the money. I could care less about the dollar amount that I spent so far on the project. It's the fact that I'll never be able to get that time back. All the thousands of hours that I know myself, Majestic
Well,
J.
and how many qubits? How many qubits have you created?
As of now, there's 1,893 qubits.
So let's just say 2,000 smart contracts, possibly more because a Qcoin, a tradable token within qubit. However, I'm wondering. I'm my mind is diving deep into smart contracts at the moment, and I'm thinking, what more of it, like say an airdrop in the future to reconcile the Qcoin or something along that matter, because the asset itself, the qubit itself, with the import of the wallet, should also import the asset. But I'm curious of the token of Qcoin.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I was actually myself and everyone here on the Qubit House team, we were actually going to scrap Qcoin. We wanted to introduce a new reward / point system for anyone that holds the qubit, you know. And I wanted to elaborate on that literally just the other day before Jose Trejo, everyone knows him in the community, before he told us that day, before we found out this news yesterday. So I was actually about to drop that news. You know, I actually tweeted out about that new point system, that I was going to actually be getting rid of Qcoin and introducing a new token for Qubit House. But I actually ended up deleting that tweet the minute that I found out that DigiAssetX was closing its doors. So, you know, like I said, like you heard me talk about it yesterday, it's a frustrating thing because I put a lot of passion. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into what I do. You know, whether it's the web design, whether it's the marketing, whether it's the actual concept art, the actual creation of the art itself is very time consuming. So like I said, it's not a money thing. It's more so a time factor that is very frustrating to see. Because like I said, you won't, that time that I
No,
won't
it is a money thing. It is a
it's
money thing because this involves the creators, and this is how y'all earn income, earn revenue on some of these different things. So this does involve money.
It involves money, but what I'm trying to tell you is, for me personally, I don't care about the money. For me, it's the time that I won't get back that is priceless to me. That I put into the process far. But you know, going forward, Dave, you know, I think there's some big things in the way. Like, I can't speak on it too much. You know, I will say everyone that was on the spaces last night, if you were there, you kind of heard what might possibly happen. I know you were there too, Dave, so I'll just leave it at that. But I do think it's, for right now in the short term, NFTs on Digibyte are basically going to go extinct because we're not going to have a marketplace for them. They'll be on the actual back-end data of the blockchain, but in terms of actual marketplace, it's going away. So with that said, I think a lot of people already kind of knew in the community that I was planning on doing this, but I have been working on something called the Dub Collective, which is basically the parent company to Qubit House, and it also houses other projects. One of the projects will be on Litecoin, on Liteverse, and like I said, that will be totally separate from Qubit House. Will have nothing to do with Qubit House or Digibyte, but they're all tied to the same parent company, which is Dub Collective. And I plan on doing things on Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR. You know, we've got a lot of concept art we're working on. We've got more than just Qubit. So
that was gonna be my next question. Was, are you gonna remain on Scrypt? So when you said HBAR, that threw that out the window, because I was thinking that Litecoin is also Scrypt, and Digibyte has 5, but able to converse fluently within Scrypt. So that's what I was curious of, if that bridge would just be easier to go from Digibyte to Litecoin through Scrypt, just to launch a project there on Litecoin.
That's probably what we're looking into doing. That's I haven't made a final decision yet, but as of now, that's probably what we're going to do. I've already, like I said, I would give you guys a teaser of some of the artwork that I will be putting on Litecoin, but I will say the Litecoin artwork is going to be every character is going to be 3D. it will also be a one-of-one project, meaning each piece will be one of one. Only one person can own it at one time. And for those that are curious, everything that we put out at Dub Collective, every project will be one of one. So whether it's the qubits on Digibyte, whether it's the, can't speak on what's going to be on Hedera at XRP, but whatever project we put out, including the one on Litecoin coming here pretty soon, is going to be a one of one. So they're 3D, much more animations, much more music to come. So I'm excited about that. That'll be something we can talk about on a different episode. But I did want to announce that I am working on a Litecoin project because, like I said, I'm not going to just stop working. I'm addicted to the grind. So whether it's me working, my day job, or me putting out artwork, or me coming up with new concept ideas for Qubit House, I'm not going to stop. So since we're losing our marketplace, so I'm going to put my ideas and my creativity on another blockchain until we get another marketplace on Digibyte. I will be putting my creativity on Litecoin. So.
That's more what I wanted to touch on, is that this is not going to be a shutdown of Qubit House. This is
not at all
to be a shutdown of DigiAssetX.
Yeah. So Qubit House is not going anywhere. Let me be very clear on that. Qubit House is not dying. We're still going to be working on Qubit House. I myself and my team, we work endlessly on whatever marketing, the website. The work that I put into Qubit House and the passion I have for Qubit House and Digibyte as a whole will never go away. So that's not going to stop. What's stopping is the actual ability for us and investors and whoever, people that are interested in artwork. The marketplace is what's going away. So just know that Qubit House will still be working in the background. There's still qubits that I need to create and mint. So there's still going to be artwork being created for qubits. It's just the fact that I won't be able to mint this artwork. It'll just be in the background. And until we get what, I think is coming, and I will give you guys a hint, I do think in the near future there will be another NFT marketplace on Digibyte. And I think it's going to be made better. I think the UI, the user interface is going to work better. I think a lot of things are going to be better about it. We just have to be patient. But if you do fuck with me and you do fuck with my artwork, like I said, I will be putting some new shit on Litecoin. And I do apologize to everyone who's ever supported me with Qubit House, to everyone who's ever retweeted any of my artwork. I feel bad that we've got to kind of postpone our mission because of someone else's. I don't know whether it's a mistake, a scam. I don't know what to call it. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, but yeah, I just want to apologize to everyone.
I know Matthew Cornelius is not here to defend himself right now. So in that regard, I would like to give him credit for building the backbone of NFTs on Digibyte. So the backbone was built on that. Or if you will, the back end or the back office. The back end. A back-end developer, exactly.
Literally the back office of the office.
Right. So, and what has been needed for a long time is more front-end development there. And I think that in the future, something could come about that may be integrated to other things as well to incorporate that of the capability of minting other NFTs and a marketplace to list and sell and auction, your project for Digibyte. I think that will come in the future, but yeah, a lot needed to be done on the front end. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise, just a temporary timeout, in my opinion, for other things to happen, for a sequence of events to happen.
I agree, Dave. I think as frustrated as we all are, sometimes I feel like Digibyte, it's like that kid that always gets his ass beat, like for some reason.
You bend over backwards and do stuff for everyone, and no one even knows that you did it. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like Doge was shut down in 2014. If it wasn't for Digibyte, Doge would be nothing. And same thing, I hear the same thing about Bitcoin Cash, where, oh, well, look at the difficulty in the mining adjustment. Yeah, where do you think that came from? Digibyte.
Mm-hmm.
So
bro, I'm telling you, it's all. I feel like, you know, if you're in the community, bro, you know, like you already know, like if you've been in DigiByte community, and if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking. I don't even have to speak on it. You know, DigiByte is just that coin where we're just suppressed by whatever the powers that be. We're just suppressed. You know, whoever that person or entity may be.
At this point, look, I am not under any NDA. I can speak freely. However, there are some things I have to be a little reserved on. However, one thing that does cross my mind at times is, well, is it by design? Is it purposely done this way? I don't know. There seem to be more connections than originally thought.
Well, I mean, let's get into it. I mean, what are you talking about? You're you're talking about NDAs and shit. Let's get into it, Dave. I mean, what is there something
that's just it. When different things are going to happen, right? When different things are going to happen, you're sworn to secrecy beyond a pinky swear, right? Beyond a pinky swear, you sign a legal document that basically prohibits you from speaking of or badly of or whatever, or you know, to that goes against the company's policies and guidelines, procedures, whatever, their terms, right? Their terms, and that's an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. And once you sign that, you cannot speak on that again publicly. However, I'm not under that, so different things cross my mind. Like I said, is it by design?
No, I know what the fucking NDA is.
I mean,
I'm trying to get you to speak on it. I want to know.
Okay. Well, as a community member, I will say this. You know, to say one thing and do another is upsetting after a certain period of time, right? So, and to be so focused on something, yet your attention is towards hot air balloons and other, just, I mean, either you're such a savant that you're fucking mad, or or I'm questioning involvement of other people. So
now we're getting somewhere. now I mean, we're getting somewhere. Now, who are these people you're talking about, Dave? I mean, are we going to mention any names?
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say. But you know, just to say that you're going to be in spaces and be more active, and then the activity that we see.
I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about.
I mean, it's just, you know.
Oh shit.
I don't know. Maybe a little more PR there is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because I think that has been a turnoff for a lot of people, and a lot of other people seeing different things happen within DigiByte from the sidelines. All kinds of infighting and stuff, and it just seems to be a bunch of people with Tourette's and Asperger's at times. I mean, it's like they just lose it at a certain point, and I'm like, why? You know, I mean, just answer the question. But
that's how it feels sometimes, though, bro. I mean, I love our community to death. We have a great community, but you know, like you said, if you're looking at it from the outside, you're
right. But
like,
it's passionate people. We're all volunteers. We're all passionate about decentralization, and we have different ideas and different theories, and we clash that back and forth, and then we have disagreements, or we have a complete fucking syntax error, you know, and just shut down. And so I long term, I see things good. Short term, maybe a little bit of a bumpy ride.
Bumpy ride. Shit is about to be in this bitch.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, shit.
I'm gonna.
At the same time, dude. Right now, we're still trying to explain to people not to use the DigiByte app on iOS or Android, to use Koinami, and it's like.
I'm about to walk into an amusement park, you know, high on 8 pounds of cocaine. and tell them, hey, I want you not to put the seatbelt around my waist when I go on this ride. That's how it feels. That's how it feels like DigiByte is about to be. But I feel like we need some crazy shit like that to happen. That's why I was saying I feel like we need. It sucks. I hate to see DigiAssetX go away. It's not what I wanted to see. It's a like I said, it's a hassle. It puts a pause on a lot of the missions that I had.
But also I question geographically, right? So it is Canada. So
bro, don't even get me started.
This is Canada is under a different rule, different laws, that kind of stuff. So it's like, you know, so what that's something else that drives me is that, okay, I can understand if we're going to speak more on the future of NFTs on DigiByte, I would like to make a recommendation. Okay, I understand KYC AML for creators. I understand that. You want to prevent pornography. You want to prevent bad things on your blockchain. I totally get that. I totally understand. But me as the customer, why do I have to KYC in order just to sell my NFT that I already purchased from someone who KYC'd? I don't understand that as a purchaser, but as a content creator, I could see that point legally, and that's my question. Like with Canada, so if it leaves Canada and goes to another jurisdiction, would those laws also change to where you can change the KYC requirements? I think that would be freaking huge going forward. I think that has been a big hang up on a lot of people. So I mean,
I agree. There's been, like I said,
what exists on OpenSea? What exists on all these other platforms? You know, there is no KYC.
Yeah, you don't have to KYC.
I mean, is it just we're too woke?
Well, you'd have to ask.
And you go woke, you go broke. Well, and played out, didn't it?
Well, I mean, you can thank Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically who was running DigiAssetX. It feels like, you know. But you know, like you said, you know, I would love to talk to Matthew in person myself, so he could defend himself. I'd love to ask him a lot of questions myself, you know, because I'm very frustrated. I want to ask him a lot of questions.
Right. I mean, now granted, there were some bad mistakes that were done. I see them as mistakes. I don't know. To me, it's too much emotion in the wrong things. Like politically. I mean, why? Wait,
hold on, Dave.
If you're in crypto, why do you give a fuck about, you know, left and right? And, you know, I mean, because somebody gets relisted on fucking Twitter, that you're gonna shut down your fucking Twitter. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. And I'm sorry, but who did you vote for in 2016? Because last I checked, you're a Canadian fucking citizen. So what the fuck does it really even fucking matter? And then on top of it, you're running a crypto business, and it's called Crypto Twitter for a fucking reason. That made absolutely no sense to me. So yeah, I call that a huge mistake.
Yeah, that was.
But
no, hey, I want to touch on something before you continue. I want to touch on what you were saying. Let's rewind it, because you were talking about the KYC thing. Yes, I do agree. If we would have never had, and I didn't mind doing it as the creator. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, as the creator, it makes sense. But as the actual, you know,
as a customer, I don't want my KYC AML shit all over the freaking place.
That's what I'm saying. So I think if this new DigiByte NFT marketplace we get, whatever the name of it's going to be, you know, I'm speaking into existence, whatever it is going to be, you know, X, whatever it's going to be, I have a feeling that it's not going to have KYC. You know, like you said, we have a hand of what's going on in the background. I'm not going to speak on it as much as I want to, Dave. I'm really hyped up about that, because why would I not be hyped up about something better and brand new? And, you know, that's like, I don't want to drive a Toyota. I want to drive a, you know, fucking Maserati. And I feel like this new NFT marketplace we get might be the Maserati of what everyone's been waiting for. The website will work better. You know, the user interface will be better. The front end will be better, not just the back end. It'll be both. But that's what I wanted to touch on. I just wanted to rewind on that.
But I think other integration has to happen first.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that need to happen first in the background. But I think I think if we can actually get an NFT marketplace like that, I think DigiByte NFTs will, take off. I've spoke to Majestic Jay about it many times before. Me and Jay, we both want more competition.
Yeah,
I would
sent Jay a link
love.
also, and if he wanted to join, because this involves him as well as DGB, the Galactic Cred.
For sure, bro.
This involves all the creators.
I would love to see other creators come to DigiAssetX or whatever the next. I gotta stop calling it that, because DigiAssetX is dead. I'm gonna start calling it DigiDeadX, whatever the fuck I want to call it. But I think once we get the new one, I would love to see more creators come. I would love to see 10, 20 creators on the platform. And shout out to I think it was Gifted or Giftlet. I used to love his artwork. He used to make a bunch of dope shit. We had another person on DigiAssetX back in the day. I think his name was oh man, I can't remember, bro.
Well,
they didn't have
that's the other thing. What? Okay, so the creators of NFTs on DigiByte, they're in the first era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of NFTs. I mean, way back when. What is with those with DigiAssetX? And so were those old NFTs able to be converted into current NFTs that are able to be traded on the marketplace? Or if I remember right, they were just like shut off and shut down. So
they were shut down.
Like an ongoing thing where one project or one style of NFT, not style, but one edition of NFTs, and then an issue, and then a complete shutdown. Mm-hmm. And then now this, and you're looking at a shutdown of DigiAssetX. Well,
yeah,
that's my next question, is for those creators who did the first edition NFTs on DigiByte before what we currently have through the DigiAssetX, will those also be able to be incorporated? So all those old NFTs on a new platform, if I could make a suggestion.
Yeah, no. That what you're saying can't happen. I don't think it could have happened at that time frame you were talking about back then. But now, yeah, that's what Renzo was telling us yesterday. Renzo was saying that the current NFTs we have on there will be able to be transferred to the new one. But I don't know how people in the Cuban House community are going to feel about this, but I'm honestly to the point where it's like, damn, I'm kind of rethinking what I want to do for the whole project of Cuban House, in terms of actually maybe restarting the whole minting process and just do like a whole new mint. I know that's going to either piss off some people that already hold Cuban House artwork, because that artwork basically would become extinct in a way, because I'm going to basically restart the whole project. That's one option that I'm thinking about doing. I'm talking, with my team about it, but or I could just keep the current qubits I have and then finish minting the rest of the 10,000 that I already had planned on doing. But I think if we do get a whole new NFT marketplace, I'd rather just start over fresh and just remint a new set of one 10,000 NFTs for Qubit House. Nothing has been decided on yet, but I just wanted to, be very.
I think it would be.
I wanted to be transparent in what I was doing.
I think it would be much easier and much less expensive than re-uploading all of that artwork, because your file sizes are huge, and that's the cost of minting on DigiByte. So I think maybe an airdrop would be an easier, more cost-effective option.
It's going to be more cost-effective. I'm just a very OCD person, and especially when it comes to my artwork, I'm very OCD about it. I'm very OCD about everything, bro. Like numbers and numerology and shit. Like I'm a fucking weirdo, bro. Like I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm very like. So I don't know if I here's what I'm trying to say. I would rather just make new artwork, whole new 10K set of qubits on a whole new platform, and just scrap the old platform, because I'm already scrapping the native token for Qubit House, which is KuCoin. I'm already scrapping that. So either way, let's say DigiAssetX hadn't shut down, hadn't closed its doors, I would still have to delete at least 700-800 smart contracts that include KuCoin right now. Not all the qubits that are listed on DigiAssetX include Qcoin, but at least 7 to 800 smart contracts right now have Qcoin. So
right, but if a smart contract just means if this then this, or if this then what. So in that instance, that's why I'm saying a smart contract of an airdrop would, I think, be much easier, or like for the Qcoin to be converted into a new Qcoin or Qcoin 2 or whatever you may want to call it. Yeah. I think that a smart contract that can take a snapshot of the blockchain and see what is there, and then do an airdrop of the new Qcoin to those wallet addresses. That would be one way.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, this is all. I haven't even, I've been so busy. I haven't even had the time to sit down and fully get I still have to sit down. We're working on it as we speak. It's a work in progress. So, with due time, I'll definitely have a game plan, and I'll make sure everyone knows what's going on. It's one thing about me. That's one thing about me, bro. I've always been a very transparent motherfucker. I might come off as vulgar or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but I'd rather just keep it real and just rip the Band-Aid off before it gets worse. So
and also
I'll make sure everything happens.
Something else I would like to add to for out there for the next marketplace, if you could make it in such a way to where well, one, the KYC AML, that's huge. But if you could, what was that? Oh, sorry. I just lost where I was. There was something else I was going to add for. I'm sorry.
No. You were talking about if there was another thing they could add on the new platform. Hey, there he is. What's up, bro?
Yeah, but Clint stepped in and kind of threw me off there.
I have that way about me. I throw people off.
What's going on, Clint?
What's happening, man?
I remember
from the bar. If it's too windy, let me know and I'll go back in.
No, you're good. Shit.
I remember now. So if they could design like a template, if you will, for creators to be able to just upload their image, make that UI a lot easier. I would suggest that as well. So so that way you basically already have the template to create the smart contract for the NFT of which you want to launch. Yeah. I think that would be a huge leap forward, because that's another issue for those of us who are tech savvy. It's not that big of a deal, but to some other people, they would have no idea where to begin. So the easier that you can make something for the public to use in order to launch their own NFT if they want. I think an easy plug and play would be awesome.
Hey, let me tell you something though, Dave. I'm telling you that shit's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna get that shit. Like, I really think I'm hoping we get it. I'm hoping we can get it before 3 years. But think about how whack that sounds. Think about how whack that sounds already. Like we have to wait 2 years for an NFT marketplace for the DigiByte community. But like you said, if it means we get rid of a bad actor, like I said, honestly, I want to speak on the Change Angel shit. The Change Angel shit really has me like, okay, I'm wondering, like, Change Angel's still in beta. DigiAssetX was in beta. I feel like they were in bed together. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Change Angel shuts down. I hope that doesn't happen, but who knows, bro? And maybe I feel that way because, like I said, there's a lot of time invested that we'll never get back. So we'll see what happens. But hey, how's the weather out there, Clint?
It's hot. It's hot. It's like it's hot. No, I don't complain. I mean, this is what we deal with, though. We do here in Illinois. What we get a lot of since it's in the part of the country, we get a lot of that Gulf moisture that does come up, and a lot of that heat that comes up that bubbles up towards us in the summer, and then in the wintertime we get the polar vortex, that comes down. So we're kind of like right in the middle of extremes. So right now it's kind of an extreme. It's about 97 or 8 right now, and the humidity's pretty high, so it's kind of miserable. And so I figured I'd come outside. There's a little bit of a breeze, even though it's hot, rather than being in the bar. The fans going. You wouldn't be able to hear me at all then. But yeah, it's hot. It's hot. Not like the crypto market.
Last time. I remember, hell yeah, the crypto market's real hot. But I remember talking to you. My parents are actually from Chicago. I used to go there all the time as a kid.
Okay.
But
I'm a couple miles south of there.
Okay, yeah, bro. I fuck with Chicago hard, bro. Like, I love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities.
Oh yeah, they've got a lot up there. They just got shitty leadership, like most cities in the U.S.
Oh, bro, yeah.
But there's so much to offer, but they want to screw it up as much as they can,
Yeah. Let me clarify though. When I say Chicago, I'm not talking like the hood. I'm not talking like where you're getting shot filling up your tank of gas.
Right.
I'm talking like downtown, like where the high rises and the skyscrapers
yep.
are. I love downtown Chicago, bro.
Oh, it's really cool. My daughter, she was just there for Lollapalooza a couple of weeks ago, and she's 18, and my wife and I are like, I don't know. She went with some friends, but she's got her head on straight, and she had a great time. She just loves it. I mean, it was just great. Could walk from the hotel.
Yeah. I love Lollapalooza.
Oh man, just it's
Let me ask you a question.
Time.
You know what Portillo's is, right?
Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have any down here until recently. It was mostly up there, but they got one down here now.
Hey, people don't really know about Portillo's, but that's a great spot, bro. Great spot.
In this area up north, near Chicago, that's a big deal, man. We just didn't have that down here until recently.
Have you been to Whataburger?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. You know
I haven't.
though.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The Marky Mark, baby, and the Funky Bunch. Oh no, that's Wahlburger. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh man, bro.
But yeah, no, they got some really cool stuff. I mean, the cities are awesome in the standpoint that they have so much good stuff. I mean, you've got everything right there. You've got a flavor. You don't have to even drive a car. It's just that it's a shame what they've become. I don't want to get political on it, but it's a shame what they become because I mean, we used to have such vibrant and healthy cities with everything that you'd ever want, and now it's just kind of. I don't know. You just got the wrong people running things, which is what we've been talking about. You got the wrong people. You got to, sometimes you got to shift gears. You learn from it and you move on. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do, bro. Mm-hmm. I was wondering where the hell you were, Dave. I thought you were over there.
Sorry, man. I had a phone call. It was a contractor.
Hey.
And my glucose is high, so I still need. And then my last pen of insulin only had 5 units left in it, so I used it and then had to go find another needle for a new one, and I still need an additional 10 units.
Oh man, hey, I thought your bitch was calling you.
It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, Clint, don't get it twisted, because Dave. The other day, I called him, and man, let me tell you, Clint, I heard a bunch of shit on that phone I had never heard in my life. I heard a horse, I heard a beaver, I heard all kind of shit.
It's like a damn zoo.
I thought that was in a dream. No, I thought I was dreaming.
You never know what Dave's got going on down there. He's doing a lot of restructuring, so I'm not sure if he's building stables or what the hell he's doing.
I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing anymore.
He's got a harem and he's hot tubs and I don't know what's happening, man.
But right now I'm designing the light show on the inside of the house. I'm doing the 4-inch pod lights everywhere that do RGB as well, and they're all smart connected and everything else. So a lot of cool stuff you can do with those.
Well, let me ask you something, Clint and Dave. I mean, how do y'all feel? I mean, I know aside from we've already touched on the whole Digibyte thing and the drama of that's something that's going to unfold over time. We're going to have to talk about more of that on the next episode with let's hash it out. But how do y'all feel right now about the market? I mean, are y'all feeling like I know we're not getting into predictions, but in terms of the overall market, like how y'all feel like that we got about a year longer in the bear market or what?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
By my November through February, that stance that we began a new market cycle altogether. So this, I think, is the from where we were in November through February till now is well, for many different crypto, they're double basically where they were. Digibyte at this point is more of a good stable coin for this price. I mean,
how do you go wrong? What's the downside risk at this point? Honestly, I mean, right. What, it gets cut in half at this point? I mean, well, the upside potential greatly outweighs anything that's at the downside at this. Right now where we're at, it's a no-brainer.
But I think some of the FUD that's out there of like Bitcoin 12 to 15,000 is the same bullshit we saw last cycle where like Tone Vase was calling for $1,200 Bitcoin. No, we're going to half. It's like
no, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, Dave, because this here's what, if you look at that, you look at that big, what is it? It's called the what's the chart called? The Wall Street thing,
Wall Street cheat sheet.
Yeah, that. Okay, so if you look at that, I think we're in what we would call maybe the disbelief stage, because nobody believes that it's going up. Well, I should say they do believe it's going up, and everybody believes it's going down, and then vice versa. We're in that middle ground to where we're just kind of chopping through, going sideways, and you got people calling for $12,000 Bitcoin now, and oh my God, by the end of the year, $100,000 Bitcoin. So you got these extremes. It's not going to go either way. Now let me give a little perspective on this. Think about because we're in a 4-year cycle. Until that's broken, you're not going to convince me otherwise. That's just is what it is in crypto. Okay, so 2021 we had our peak. Yeah, it kind of was a double peak, in Bitcoin, and then you had. And now here we are in 2023. So we're halfway through that cycle. I think we're already in the bull market, the early stages, but that doesn't mean we're going parabolic next week. I mean, we're going to have to work our way through it. And so you look at what happened in 2020. What happened in May of 2021. I mean, everything, boom. Oh, here we are. Everything's going up. Well, a year before that, a little bit over a year before that, in March of 2020, I mean, we had that big COVID crash, they called it, in March. I mean, holy crap, dived, it went down. And they're like, oh my God, it's all over. Think about this.
Where do you think that we are right now?
I think we're in the disbelief stage.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that because there's that choppiness of, I'm not sure if I think it's going to go up and it could go to the moon. Oh my God, it still could go. So there's that. Nobody knows really. When I look at disbelief, it's like nobody knows what to believe at this point. And so there's no confirmation. It's just, I think it's going up. I think it's going down, and there's that nobody knows right now. But the thing is, I don't think we're going to revisit lows unless we have that same kind of event like we had, and we won't go to the all-time low, but unless we have that same kind of event that we had in March of 2020, where, oh my God, the world's falling apart. There's lockdowns, there's this, there's that. And then what happened after that? Boom, we're right back in that bull cycle. So think about this. In March of 2024, we'll be 4 years away from that point when that happened. And then after that, it was just, a continual gradual up and then a parabolic up, almost parabolic up. So, I mean, I look at what's going to happen here. I think we get through this year, we get to the end of the year. Once we get into 2024, you're going to see steady rising upwards. Can we have a fake out, clean out crash? Yeah, but it's going to be short lived. So I think right now is really an opportune time to accumulate if you got cash. Most people don't have cash anymore. I mean, you got student debt in October that's going to kick back in. Nobody's been paying for their student debt in how long now? I mean, for 3 years. That's going to be a shock to the system. But see, all those existential events, all those external events, I don't think matter because the 4-year cycle holds no matter what. We had an all-time high in the middle of the COVID lockdowns. I mean, think about that. So everything that happens politically, externally, it doesn't matter because if you look at the quadrillions of dollars that are out there and our market cap for all cryptos are like, what, $1 trillion, $1.5 trillion. I mean, it doesn't even make a difference. It's just about the emotion of the human beings coming back into it. And that 4-year cycle cleanses all that pain, all that anguish of buying at the top and holding, and, you know, all the despair that everybody sees. And so by 2025, everybody's going to be happy. And so you got a little over a year to go. So if you've got let's say a 2-year time frame at the worst, man, just put your investments in something that we're talking about. Put your investments, trust yourself, not financial advice, but look at what's really undervalued right now. A $65 Litecoin, a Digibyte that's like under a penny, you know, not even 3/4
Bro,
of a penny.
if you're not buying right now and accumulating, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you can't be saved. We can't help you.
Bro, everything is so cheap right now, and it has been for the past year.
I know.
Bro, if you're not accumulating, like, something's wrong with you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So
you just don't get it yet. And the thing is, you'll get it when it's in 2025 and Digibyte's at 20 cents and then 33 cents and, you know, maybe a little bit higher. I mean, it doesn't matter. The fact is, you're going to see it go 10x, and that's only 7 cents.
Well, and here again,
7 cents.
So like right now, I've got Digibyte pulled up. Right now we're at 0.00687. So basically a half of a cent. Okay. Well, the thing is that right now for 1 million Digibyte, you'd be looking at $6,870. So say $7,000.
Say $7,000. Say $7,000
for a million Digibyte right now.
$7,000.
$7,000, but at 12 cents, it would have cost you 120 grand. So which would you prefer?
You know why I'm laughing my ass off, is because there's gonna be people that actually buy your Digibyte at 30 cents. Like,
yeah, exactly. Sell it to them. I mean, that's all you can do at this point, you know, because that's what it comes down to. And it's just, okay, Christ. I got shit I got to build. Okay, here, take my Digibyte. You know what I mean? What do you do at that point? I mean, where else in any kind of market is it going to suck up all the excess and all the waste that we've got out there in the dollar? I mean, there's just nowhere else that the money can go. Yeah, it can go into gasoline, this and that, but at some point people stop buying the gasoline and they say, screw it, I'm not going to work, you know, and it shuts down. I mean, there has to be a method to take those dollars that have been created out of nothing and soak it up and absorb it. And I mean, we see that, and it's just that it's such a no-brainer. But people are afraid. I mean, it happens in every market cycle. I've been through this. Dave, you've been through this. We've seen this. And it's just, now is the time that you want to take even the little amount of money that you might have available. Don't go out and eat dinner tonight, or don't go out this Friday night. You know, stay home. You know, watch a movie, and don't get the pizza. You know, make something at home. Whatever you got stuffed in the freezer, you know, whatever. Scrape the ice off of it, you know, and cook it up. And take that 15, 20, 100, whatever money you got, throw it in a Digibyte, and just forget about it for 2 years.
Bro. Hey, that's why I fuck with you, bro. Clint's like, yeah, I mean, hey, you know, if you got to eat fucking, you know, dog shit for the next 3 months.
It's only 2 years.
I mean, fuck it. I mean, hey, bro, Digibyte's below a penny. So, I mean.
Come on. And look at the long-term chart, Dave, because there are long-term charts on certain coins that, yeah, they could do well, but I don't have a lot of faith in, because they didn't, you know, in the two bull cycles, the two major bull cycles we had in 2017, 2021, you saw some coins that, you know, did really well in 2017, and then it didn't even come close to their all-time high in 2021.
There was a lot. I'd say a good 40% of the market didn't reach its all-time high.
But Digibyte did. Litecoin did. I mean, they still went a little bit higher in that last peak, and I think, yeah, they should have went higher, but they didn't. But you got to look at it as, okay, the trend is still upwards. So if the high in Digibyte in 2021 was, 18 cents, I think? Okay, I'm saying it's going to get to a quarter in 2025. And I'm just being conservative, though. Okay, even if it gets to 20 cents and that's all it does. All right, that's over a 20x. Hello? I mean, you put $1,000 in and you get 20,000 back. What are you doing? What are you spending your money on?
Hey, it sounds like we're going to Vegas or some shit.
Right. I mean, come on. I don't like Vegas, but at that point, yeah, maybe I'll go to Vegas with you guys because I like.
I mean, shit. We can throw some one shit. We can make it happen.
Man, 21 billion digibytes, all that's going to exist, and there's 8 billion people in the world. I mean, every person's not going to get 3 digibyte. 3.
Hey, but hey, you know what I've always wondered, and it's the same for Litecoin. You know how you'll see those articles of the people that have lost their hard drives of the early Bitcoin miners, and they've lost like thousands of Bitcoins. So there's really not going to be 21.
There's not that many.
So there's not going to be.
That's the best case scenario.
There's not going to be that much Litecoin in there. There's not going to be digibyte because there's plenty of people that have lost their digibyte. They've lost their password. So.
Yep, 100%, man, 100%. So you just got to look at the math. That's all it comes down to. It's just math. I mean, there's a number of people. There's a lot of money out there. I mean, where's it going to go? We're going digital.
Let's look at the math, shall we?
Yeah, let's look.
Okay, so the high was 18.25 cents.
All right.
In 2021. Now, let's just say 18 cents, right?
Yep.
Okay. So from back here, I bought in at 0035. Now you can see the price dropped down much lower than that.
Yep.
So 002 something or other in that ballpark, 224. 0024. Well, a lot of people don't know of DigiByte because they don't know of a success story. Well, I am one. So in here, but where I bought at 0035, all the way up here, that was a 51x. Okay, let me say that again. That was a 51x I got in DigiByte this last cycle. And I didn't buy it at the absolute low, and I didn't sell it at the absolute high. And let me show you something else. Let's go to 2017, because this is fucking wicked. Okay? DigiByte actually got a 280x. So January 1st, 2018, the high was 14.8 cents. Well, right before that,
Dave, how many prostitutes did you buy when DigiByte hit all-time high?
I didn't. I bought a hot tub.
He's got a hot tub, so he can get them ladies coming over to the fair market.
But this here, January 1 of 2017, in that ballpark, all the way till this high, that was a 280x. That was a 280x in 2017 and a 51x in this cycle. So I don't know. I mean, look, I'm just saying.
I think DigiByte. I think
sell high. I mean, I don't know how else to say that.
Hey, 33 cents. I'm not even bullshitting. 33 cents is what's going to happen.
No, seriously, that's kind of my number too, man. It might peak at 33 cents. You might not get it for that, and so I'm conservative, and I'm saying, hey, you're going to be able to sell it at a quarter, and I think you'll be comfortably be able to sell it at a quarter.
Yeah,
okay, so
let's fast forward this. Okay, I think in the year 2035, us talking about fucking a quarter DigiByte.
No, that's not even
fucking meaningless and pointless.
Yep, it's just like you said. I didn't get it at 0.002. I got it at 0.003. Nobody's going to care when it's $1, when it's multiple dollars. It's not going to matter. This rabbit just came right up next to me here. Crazy. Anyway, I got my own animal farm here.
And that's how it is down here in Texas, bro.
Love it.
You walk outside, you see a fucking reindeer just fucking staring at you.
Yeah, this little guy's right over here.
Oh, wow. What's good there, Javier?
Damn, I just saw damn YouTube, so I decided, why not join in?
Hell yeah, we got another tank top wearer and mofo. I love it.
Yeah, we know it's hot down south.
Feel the heat.
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Don't fucking tell me this is fucking Javier.
This is Javier.
I'm the gangster, Bubba.
He's the OG, the original.
You haven't been watching Hash It Out. Yeah, doing good, my brother. It's been a long time. I've been wanting to finally see your face. You look ridiculous in those glasses, but that's okay. No, I'm just joking. You look
cool,
good.
Man.
They look good on you.
I like
They look good. No, it's good,
bro.
You got that.
It is amazing. It's amazing to finally see you. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, I'm just a gangster here in Florida now.
It looks like you just did 8 lines of cocaine before you joined this.
You ought to see it on Hash It Out. You ought to see it on Hash It Out. I'm really stoked.
Shit.
Well, speaking of that, so let's analyze. Let's analyze. Okay, so if a pizza costs $30, right, and 2 pizzas was 10,000 Bitcoin, does that mean an 8-ball would be 60,000 Bitcoin?
That's one way to knock the drug problem out. We'll stop that drug problem real quick. Wow.
Yeah, it don't take much.
It's a good way to think about it, Dave. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you would actually spend that on pizza. I think you and I both know
that would be 60,000 Bitcoin for an 8-ball of cocaine. There was not that much Bitcoin to go around back then for it to be involved in drugs and trafficking and all of this other kind of garbage. It's like, I mean,
hey, we had plenty of dollars to take care of that, though.
I mean, it's basically they do exactly what they accuse you of. It's like, what the fuck?
It's all projection.
You've got to leave. You've got to leave a little Digibyte or Litecoin for the alcohol, because that's the only thing that levels you out. I mean, I don't know. Someone told me that once.
Yeah, you might have learned that.
I didn't
here.
inhale.
I didn't.
Are you drinking? Are you drinking right now? Are you drinking right now?
No, I should. No, I'm on a diet, trying to look good for Westwood.
Shit,
I gotta be skinnier than Westwood on the way over there.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I'm sorry everything has happened to you that's happened to you, Cubic. Because I've been a big follower of NFTs, but god dang it, I knew that you were a hard worker and deserved a lot more. And I don't know, hopefully everything happens for the best and you find the chain that can appreciate what you do. And not that the community doesn't appreciate you.
I think we're gonna. I appreciate that, bro, but I think we're actually gonna keep Qubit House on Digibyte. It's just, I don't think Digibyte's gonna have NFTs for the next 2 years until we get another marketplace. There's nowhere to do NFTs on Digibyte. So I was talking earlier. I think you had already known, but I'm probably just gonna go full throttle on Litecoin NFTs right now because I had already started a project on Liteverse. So
yeah, you can't blame. I mean, nobody blames you. Look. Nobody pays your bills. Nobody pays anything. You're the man that has to make those decisions. I know you invested a lot of time. And I remember, arguing, especially, I don't understand the NFT, but I do understand when you say, hey, I'll do this for you free and I'll do that for this. And nobody seems to care. It's almost like they knew about it and nobody gave a shit because they were like, let this guy go somewhere else. And I love Digibyte and I like the Digibyte community. There's a few actors there that I haven't understood yet. And until I do, I'll call them out. I'm not afraid to call them out. NFT that I wanted to buy from you and you remember the one of the two favorite people that I have. And it's just, to me, I have to respect the situation and there are unanswered questions. I see the way Charlie Lee handles his business. He's not always on underground or channels, but he does come in and put his 2 cents worth. And I haven't seen that from our founder in Digibyte. And not that he owes us anything, but at least let us know that he's busy chasing balloons and UFOs and fucking extraterrestrials, and putting a lot of shit on political views. I'm on this damn thing. Yeah, I'm on here all the time, and he's on a lot of spaces. As long as it doesn't say Digibyte, he's on that space. So questions, dude. And to me, is it all planned?
All right, there you go. Javier, that comes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Shit, bro.
And with these cryptocurrencies and what they really represent and what they really are, you have to often wonder is, has there been a nod, a shake, a hey, you need to stop, you need to slow down, this isn't ready yet, this technology, we gotta kind of hold it back a little bit. You wonder with a lot of these chains that seem to be suppressed, that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, because when you look at the fundamentals of something like DigiByte, you look at the fundamentals of something like Litecoin, and you think, man, all the stuff that it does, it's pretty powerful. It's pretty empowering to the individual to be able to have sound money that they can use, that they can fight the system with. And you think, did the men in black show up at some point, in the black limousines and say, listen, you need to tone it down. You need to go over this way and find something else to do for a while, because we're not ready for this yet. Because
let me ask you a question.
We can't have the little guy getting a hold of this, this weapon, that's on the economic battlefield. We need to scare him out of it.
Then let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How is this? I mean, dude, I'm out there for the truth. How decentralized, if we have people that can slow the pace, and I'm not saying it's not for the betterment of man. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I'm just saying, if we think we're in a decentralized system and we can slow it down, I was following and asked the developer, or I don't even know if it's a developer or whatever, the guy that had control. Hey man, I will give you a better web page. I will give you a better, and it was all turned down. And then we have some people chasing weather balloons, aliens, politics, anything the hell you want, but they won't answer. They won't come on to the show. And I'm not saying our show. Just come on and give an opinion. I want to know what those people have. I want to know what the Digi Alliance has to say about what's happened to Cubic. Are they upset at anybody, or is it just fuck this guy that had a lot of time on his hand, and all that time and money that he put into it? More power to you, my brother. Like I said, I'll still be a big holder of DigiByte. But
the alliance has nothing to do with the marketplace.
No, they don't, but I do want their opinion. They heard my opinion. I want to know what their opinion is, or should we chase, like I said, so sometimes I just feel that there are people in the know, and obviously there are, and they are controlling the output. And at that point, how much of it's decentralized? If someone could control this, how much of it's decentralized?
I think they control.
Charlie Lee would be the same thing, or
no? I agree. I mean, I think they can control emotion, because it is a. I mean, face it. It's a small market. There's not that many people who are diehards like we are, who understand what it is, and it's like, I don't care. I'll wait 2 years. It doesn't matter to me. I'll wait 6 years. Doesn't matter. You check off boxes. As they come, freedom boxes. Like I said, this is an economic weapon. Like, something that's never been out there before, that's now kind of released to the wild. And okay, let's see what happens. And you saw what happened in 2017. Everybody's, oh, this will change the world. Okay, we need to introduce futures. We need to introduce things that can kind of control this market. We got to get our old system into this market. We have to be able to mitigate this a little bit. And then you often wonder, because you see how people sell out. I mean, you see Alan Greenspan, for instance. You can call him a sellout. He was a big gold bug, and he becomes head of the Federal Reserve. Next thing you know, well, we're going to, do this and that, and all the Feds speak, and, not a word about gold, and not about a word about sound money. And he printed to oblivion, while he was the chair. And you often wonder that, did someone have a conversation with someone? This is pure woo, pure conspiracy at this point. I'm just, talking out here, some guy that's had a few old fashions and a cigar, but you get to a point where you start thinking, man, have some of these people, who do they know? Who have they talked to? Do they have a different agenda? Is there a bigger picture that we're not aware of? And I guess at the end of it all, I'm like, okay, what's our alternative? The alternative is we keep playing the game. We have a president that sends billions to Ukraine and zero to Maui. And you look at all the things that happen and you think, oh man, what's really going on here? You know, is this thing being stifled? Is this thing being held back? Is this something that can really help humanity? Yet we need to make sure that the big boys in the old system are allowed to get into it, but we have the same opportunity. So as conspiratorial as we can get, here's my opinion on it. This is what I really feel. They want to scare people out of the crypto market. They want to keep people out of the crypto market as long as possible so that certain players can accumulate as much coins as they can.
You know what? I love it. I mean,
I think that's what's happening.
No, hey, keep it low. And
that's how we win.
I know, and that's it. It's like I will take advantage of that. If you're going to drop laser beam guns on the battlefield, I'm going to pick them up. Because I'm like, it's right there. I'm going to pick that up because I know at some point I'm going to need to use that. I'll go bing, 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 bing. Aliens or whatever. It doesn't matter. I've got these weapons that nobody else has. And I can kind of see that is a necessary thing to have. And for free, basically, at this point, you know, I mean, what was it? I used the example a few weeks ago. I bought 2,000 DigiByte. 2,000 DigiByte for $16 off of a platform. And I'm like, whatever, $16, 2,000 DigiByte. 2,000 DigiByte in 10 years, 20 years, 2035, like you're talking about, Dave, I think that's going to be a pretty big deal. That's going to be a pretty big weapon, you know, and we've got the ability to not go out, like I said, on Friday night, Saturday night and say, you know what, I'm going to take 2 weekends off a week because trust me, we know how it is when we get together. We can blow a lot of money at a bar. A lot of money at a bar.
You know what?
We can say, let's put that money in something else for the future. You know, 2 years.
I like the Westwood bar.
Yeah, I know, right?
No,
we'll drink till it's all
agree.
gone, then we got to figure it out.
I agree, and that's, you know what?
In 2035, the last DigiByte will be minted. So with that in mind, and then also knowing that a lot of people are curious what it's going to be like in the day of 2150 whatever for Bitcoin and 2140 for Litecoin. What will that day look like? And I think that many people gloss over DigiByte and don't realize that instead of a halving every 4 years, DigiByte also has a halving once a month. So with it reaching its max supply in 2035, I think we're going to see what it is that everyone wants to know the answer to.
I agree.
Yeah, no. Yeah, DigiByte has it once a month, just like a woman's cycle. And I'm all for it. But here, let's go back to you, Clint. Once we figure out, Dave that said, if we were to be talking Bitcoin in 1917, the way we see Bitcoin now, those guys would have punched us in the nose. I mean, in 5 more years, are we even going to recognize? I'm not saying we're not going to be rich. I'm not going to.
Well, that's close.
What we're not understanding is the tech was what was going to get the rest of the population a fair playing field. And right now, we have anything but a fair playing field. And my question to y'all is, can any developer... Go ahead. Well, I was just saying, you know, can any developer, and I know the answer to that, cock block, even though they are decentralized, the coin is decentralized, if any of the big players would say something negative, something to slow it down, if Charlie Lee said something right now, or I think it would, God dang it, the whole thing about DigiByte, when I'm talking to people about purchasing DigiByte and they do their homework, the biggest complaint is Jared. And it shouldn't be. And I say, well, no, he's just a guy chasing balloons. Don't worry about him. I'm not worried about it. It's going in a great place and it's stronger than anything I see. But you still have that thing that brings us and slows us down in our own community because it's hard to get around that.
It's been like that
it's
since
just,
How did Litecoin get started? How did DigiByte get started? It's because for offering a difference of opinion in how the blocks function of the blockchain, everyone was kicked off of the old Bitcoin forums back in the day, and for offering even a difference of opinion, and they were smothered and pushed aside. They were kicked off of the forums. So was Bitcoin decentralized back in the day? No, it was not. So that's why we have Litecoin and why we have DigiByte. It's that we mean to fix other things, other issues. So there are many other things that DigiByte is capable of, but it has not been developed yet. But these were different things that they wanted to set up. And from the start, instead of building a project and bringing it to market and everyone gets rich, instead it was focused on security. It wasn't focused on a money grab. So it began in the opposite way. It began in the opposite direction. It began with security as paramount, not money, not dollar go up.
Let me bring a delicate question up, as I usually do. You think these guys got rich first and now they don't give a shit? They've got the time to wait. They're playing the game.
Point. That's a great point.
I mean, and that's just an honest. People are go, oh, Javier hates DigiByte. No, I don't. But I want to ask an honest question. If those guys got rich too, I don't care. I cashed out.
Right.
I'm drinking tatas on the beach.
So let's say in crypto, you create a project, right? And it takes off and it does well, but you've already made money in so many other ways that really you didn't realize what kind of time you were going to have to devote to something. So in that matter, yeah, I can understand passing the baton, if you will.
I don't blame, dude. I don't even blame them. You know what? Well, would I do that? Maybe. And you know what? Especially if I got visited by a 3-letter agency, I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Or maybe the laws could
because we could speak freely. I'm saying whatever the hell I think.
If the laws are more lenient in another place, why not do that?
Yeah, I'm not afraid to offend anybody.
There are many other questions, many other facets that we're not privy to. So I don't know what's being done. It's just trying to figure out, okay, well, if this, then what? So there.
And I'm going to tell you, Dave, you know what? We're not privy to it. And now seeing the tempo of DigiByte, and they don't like it. I don't know. I hope so. I hope you know what? If we're supposed to know somebody, shit, let me know. Let me know I'm not supposed to talk about this. And let me know what I'm supposed to do.
Here's the other thing. So
I just want to be a gangster like Cubic House in the corner. He's a gangster up there. Look at
I want to give credit to Cornelius in that he built the framework for it in order to be passed on. And he is now working on core. He's now working on core. So if this is adopted in such a way, then the backbone is already written and it's just the front end that needs further development for the next marketplace. And
maybe that's as far as he could go. Or maybe he's on the beach with old Trudeau or whatever his name. Maybe he's having a drink with Trudeau over there, talking about Biden and trying to call Biden in on his conversations. I don't know. I really don't care about their political views. But you know,
hold on. We're taking a commercial break, goddammit.
I'm gonna go. I gotta go make another old fashioned. I'll be right.
Yeah, I gotta make a margarita. I haven't even got primed yet.
Yeah, we're taking a goddamn commercial break. Shit.
Hey, Cubic, you look like a gangster, man. I'm looking at you. I hadn't seen you before. You're a true gangster.
Shit, bro.
Damn.
You from Texas too, bro. You know what's up.
Yeah, I know, but you I don't know. I just didn't imagine you. You're a big boy too. I didn't know you were that big.
Yes, sir. We out here. We out here tackling this shit. We country.
What's up?
Country
you play
bred. Football too? You play football or what?
Nah, that was a long dude. I'm 60 years old. Threw hay for a while, and I did all kinds of work on a farm. But besides that, not much of anything.
Wide
Just
receiver,
grew
defensive
up.
back, and safety.
Damn, everybody went for drinks.
No, I got mine.
Yeah, I figured you, Dave. No, I just wanted to jump on for a little bit and just. I mean, shit, he's done a lot, and I've always respected his honesty and his way of being and who he's all about. So, to me, he's a big G and a big asset to any community that he decides to focus on. I think we'll do well.
What I was trying to lead into earlier is I think other things are in play at the moment that we're not aware of. So by saying this or saying that right now doesn't really make sense until I understand the full scope. So, I mean,
but it sure is a lot of fun doing it.
Some things right now were a dick move. That was a complete and utter dick move. I agree.
It was definitely fucked up. But I mean, I think that's why we need to address it and talk about it. And I don't know if you was Javier on the Spaces last night?
No, I missed it.
Okay. Well, yeah. So earlier we discussed that there might be a chance, not anything in the short term, but long term, there might be another NFT marketplace on DigiByte, but there's just not enough information about it yet for us to really speak on it.
You know what, Cube? I think that you got a good head on your shoulder, and whatever you decide to support, I've got support for you. I say what I feel. By no means am I saying or should any advice for me, but you know what? You're a friend. I've made most of my decisions by judging the character of a man, and you seem to be one that we don't all have to be the same straight lace, hair combed to the side in one certain direction, but you've always been a straight shooter in the way you present yourself. So that's where the respect comes from. There's other people on the DigiByte. Gladden's another man that since the very beginning, I've always told him, man, did I respect you just for what I see, and then after he did his running and everything else, even more so.
I fucking Gladden, I fucking Gladden hard, Gladden.
Everybody, Master, and everybody else, and that's hilarious because you're a man that's confident in your own skin, man, and that's I think what I'm seeing in you, and I see in Clint and Dave that, dude, we have our coins, we have our favorite stuff, but we're not gonna not speak the truth. And like I said, mentality doesn't give me the ability to understand the research and the tech. So I can only go by what I know, and and then learn from y'all, people like yourself.
For sure.
God damn, that's a cowboy. Hey, that's one of those northern cowboys. Cubic.
That's what it is.
Look under.
Look at that.
That's a cowboy from the north.
You know what's crazy about that though is that I told Clint, I said every time you start that third drink, he pulls out that hat.
Yep. You gotta pull out the hat, baby.
The third drink, the hat comes out, and Clint turns his.
Now it's my turn to go.
Oh, I forgot
to get something.
Hang on, I gotta go get a cigar.
Dog, bro. Dave, what are you're smoking a Pall Mall right now, huh?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. My mind was more on not spreading FUD. My mission was more of spreading news of what's going on and hopeful outlooks into the future. And I don't see this as a bad thing, because I question what else is going on in the background that we're not aware of.
Need a cocktail waitress around here.
Yeah. So you want a tip? Look both ways before crossing the street.
Never know. Never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
On your street, you better.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
Need a
yeah,
tunnel.
you're out there close. You're out there in Chicago, close to them streets. But Clint, I know. How many guns you got at your house? You got about 10, 15 AR-15s over there?
I got a 22.
Yeah.
He's got a button he pushes on the damn barn, and the concrete lifts up, and the fucking tank rolls out. I mean,
You just never know, man. I don't want to tell anybody. I live in Illinois, so you don't want to tell anybody what you have. You might want to get it.
Yeah, especially if you got some cartel people in the DigiByte community. Oh, shit.
No, it's good stuff.
What is that right there, Javier? What are you making a drink? What is that?
No, just the damn dog wants to pee, but it's raining and I ain't walking.
I thought you were giving us a front end view of how to make an old fashioned shit.
No, actually, I've had you in my.
I didn't know this was a fucking PetSmart commercial.
Yeah.
Put a sock on your hand, pets.com.
Yeah. Come here. Also. Lay down. Here's also.
No, sir.
It's probably a lot better view than that.
I think we were talking. What were we? I think we were just talking about. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to not be accumulated right now. And honestly, you should have been doing it the past year. Shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because if you think about it, you look at what was DigiByte's low. I mean, Dave, do you know what was the low coming off the 2021?
I think it was like 0.006162.
I know it went into the fives.
It was 6 something, but
did it go into the fives? I thought it hit like 6.1.
I remember 5.8.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? It did hit 5.8. You're right. It did.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
5.8. Damn.
And see, and the thing is, I mean, we beat ourselves up. We're like, man, I could have gotten a
6.
Okay, right there. Okay, all right. So under 6. And you think about it.
June 16th.
Okay, yeah. You look at that and you think, I mean, all this time that you had to accumulate, and we're not even that much above what the low was. And then we were looking at the all-time chart, and the highs of it, 14 cents, 18 cents. Okay, maybe 4 more cents. Oh, it only goes to 22 cents in 2025, 2 years from now. Seriously, what are you waiting for? You waiting for Elon Musk to tweet or something?
It's funny. I love those people that DigiByte hits 25, 30 cents, whatever. Then they want to ask you, hey, where do I buy it at?
Yeah. Okay. Well, here, I'll sell it to you. I mean, at that point, because it's like, really, dude. But that's what it takes sometimes, and that's why these 4-year cycles happen, because people need to get pumped up and excited about something. You see silver right now rising, and I have people telling me, "Did you see what silver did today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was just at $25, a few weeks ago." But they're excited because they see it pump, and they're like, "Oh, I got to get some. I got to get some."
What did it hit? What is silver right now?
It's like right under $25, I think, for the spot price.
Shit. Man,
I know. It's like, okay, wake me up when it busts convincingly over 30, and then even then,
at least it's 30. Shit.
I know. I mean, and that's it. Yeah. I tell people, I say, wake me up when it's 100, because then I know the game has changed. And until then,
game is like, thank you, Cliff.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
The game will suddenly change, and we know it doesn't have to change completely. The dollar doesn't have to go away. Know what? But the rules have to change to where there are for this game for us to continue to play, or else the hell with it. I till then, I'm gonna play it my way. Is just be a contrarian at heart and keep myself safe. Keep food in my refrigerator. Keep a little cash, like you've talked to people about in your shows, Clint. Get a little silver, get a little stuff make it through.
That's the most important thing, because the whole reason we're into crypto, the fundamentals of it are such that go back and read the white paper. What resonated with you? It was the ability to send a peer-to-peer transaction outside of a financial institution, the ability to transact value when the government can't say you can't do that. That's the most important thing. And then you're watching banks collapse right now. And I think we're going to have another banking crisis here very soon in the next couple of months. And we already are having it, and we're just not being told about it. and there's so many forces that are happening. Why wouldn't you want to have the things that you need in your possession? Because ultimately, that's why you have crypto, because you're going to use it as money. And yeah, there's a tech aspect of it. But I mean, the basics are, when you need the basics, you've got to have something that you can transact value with to get those basics, whether it be gold, whether it be silver, whether it be crypto, whether it be, whatever you have in your cigar, a shot of whiskey. Somebody's going to want that stuff. And then it comes down to, what do you need? And if you get what you need now, the price is not going to go down in the future. It can't go down, because they're going to create unlimited amounts of dollars. So you get yourself into that mindset of, what do I need on a daily basis? Hey, if Dave says, hey, we're going to have a show today and I'm not expecting it, I'm like, oh shit, I got to go out and get a cigar. I got to go out and get some whiskey. No, I'm going to have that here, because I'm going to be prepared for that. And you've got to be prepared for those things. What are you going to use? What are you going to need? Have those things now. And because ultimately in the future, yeah, crypto goes way up, silver goes way up, but you're still going to have to use that to buy the things you need if you don't have them. So why not get those things that you need now? It's like, hey, I like to eat steak. Well, maybe you should have a freezer and maybe have some steak set aside, because you might not be able to get them in the store. There might not be somewhere that you can go to get that unless you've got a source. But work on those sources. Work on that community level. Find a farmer. Find the things that you're going to need and have access to it. The biggest thing in the future is going to be, I don't have access to the stuff I need. People in Maui, I don't have access to the
community.
Things I need. And yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what it is. And I mean, you can't depend on the government to come save you, because there's unlimited amounts of money that they could be pouring into a disaster area right now, and they're not doing it. So what makes you think that they're going to come save you? The only person that's going to save you is you. And you better find people that think the same way. And, those are precious people. Treasure those people, because ultimately that's what it is. We realize the whole system's failing. Find those new networks, find those new people, find that new community, using the tools that we have that they monitor and track and trace us with, to find those people and build those networks. You're only as strong as your network. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So you want to put together the like-minded people, the people that get it, and the people in crypto that are truly crypto people that understand it, they get it. Those are the kind of people you want to be surrounded with, because that leads to all kinds of other things. And I mean, that's the most important thing right now in my mind, is have the things you need, find the people that are going to be able to help you, that you can help, that you can barter with, you can trade with. And what better thing to trade with than sound to sound, peer-to-peer electronic money outside of a financial institution? Just saying.
Wow.
We're in a we're living in a digital world,
100%
right?
with. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Totally, I understand. It's hard to believe you with that damn silly hat on. But besides that, I truly know that what you're saying is there. It's what we all believe in different ways. And I think we have different ways of expressing it. I'm not very refined or anything, but it is what it is, and it's my experience in life and my generational knowledge, opposed to a young guy like Cubic that's got the tech and understands and can get in there and research. And so there's value in everything, and knowledge is relevant, because you can have a person that's very knowledgeable in the tech, and you throw them out in the woods, and that tech ain't going to help you in the woods. And so it's relevant to what you're doing.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'll survive in them damn woods.
Yeah. No, I know, and I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but there's so many people that don't.
And you know what?
No, there's so many people that
can't.
That's a different experience.
No, you're right. There's so many people that can't. But look at it this way. I mean, everybody coming after us is going to use this tech. I mean, I never thought in my lifetime that I would pay for a digital song. I would pay for digital artwork. I always, hey, I've got my CD, cassette tape, 8-track, whatever it is. I got it. I can play it anytime I want. Well, good luck doing that now. I can't even find a DVD player. So if you got a collection of DVDs,
that's going to be some real shit. 8-track.
Exactly. I mean, you think about it though. I mean, you can't everything's digital right now. You know, this viral song, Richmond, north of Richmond. I mean, you know, look at what art can do. Look at what the freedom of expression can do in the digital form. And hey, I'm just talking about sound money, you know, but extrapolate that out. If we're living in a digital world, digital assets are like the primo thing. And I've talked about it many times. It's like, hey, you got your lady, you go out to the bar, you know, it's like, hey, come home to my pad. Look at this artwork that I have. How are you going to express that artwork? Well, here, let me show it on my phone. Oh, that's cool. But what if you own that and you can say, look, boom, watch it on this big widescreen wall that I have now that's digital. Ooh, that's nice. Or listen to this song that I own. You know, it's all digital and you can take that anywhere you want. And that's the beauty of the digital age. You're just interacting with this Borg that's out there, this digital entity that's out there. And the technology that allows you to protect that, something like Digibyte that can secure your rights to where you can authenticate to it, to where you can have it stored, you know, connected to the blockchain. Those are important things going forward. And it goes back to, I never thought I would listen to music or own music that wasn't in my hand, so to speak. You know, I always thought I'd have a CD or I'd have something in my hand that I could, you know, at any time play it. But now we've got all these tools to be able to play it in this digital world. We are going digital. And I mean, digital assets are going to be important, especially if you can verify ownership and prove that, you know, you're the only one that has it. I mean, how many people, hey, look at my Nolan Ryan rookie card. You know, it's got 2 people on it instead of, you know, I don't have one. I should have one. That's a whole story. But anyway, you know, if you have that card, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, it's in this case. It's, you know, show it to everybody. But what if you have, let's say, the NFT of it, and there's only 1,000 of them made, or however many cards? You know, that's just an example. And you can project that, you can show that anywhere you're at and verify that you're the owner of one of 1,000. What if you can show that you're the owner of one of 21 billion? And you're like, oh my gosh, or one of 84 million, or one of 21 million. You know, you've got one of those. I mean, those kinds of things are going to be important. We've given value to artwork that's on canvas for centuries. And if you've got that, what's the price? What, name it?
Yeah,
Because
well,
somebody
and
else
here's
wants
what
it.
it is, you know, it's whatever people give value to, and we've discussed it. Seashells have been, so why not value on that? I mean, I see Cubic as being a rock star, but it's probably 3 to 5 years from now. I think that what we are saying now will be relevant, and like, well, there were some idiots that knew about what the hell was going on during that time, but nobody was taking a look. Had no views, or they had very few views, or the guy was wearing a ridiculous hat, so nobody really made sense of what the hell he was saying. But you look good, Clint. I mean, I don't send it to me, but that hat looks good on you.
I'm gonna take an NFT. Cubic,
not on me.
I need an NFT.
But no, I think that
sucker.
we're gonna be an important mission. We're gonna be on an important mission.
No, we are, and we get it. And that's the thing, you know, as old as we are, I mean, you know, we all come from different backgrounds, different ages, but we all get it. That's why crypto is really that lighthouse that's kind of brought us.
Bro, you're talking like y'all are on fucking Canes using AARP.
I know, right?
Fucking life alert and shit.
I'm gonna get one around my neck. Like, hang on.
Where's Mike?
I've drank too much. I've fallen and I can't get up. Come on,
shit. Cubic said he wanted to invite me to Houston. I don't think I'll probably have a heart attack. I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday.
You're a mermaid chasing chunk of coal, though.
Let me tell you something.
Well, if they walk, just because you're not hungry doesn't mean you can't look at the damn menu. And I'm just looking at the menu.
Javier, ain't nothing wrong with the menu, and ain't nothing wrong with the city of Houston, Texas. And we've got plenty of menus here. You know, we've got Mexican menus, we've got Italian, we've got Asian.
Yeah, you can walk down the street and they're posted outside the restaurant. You can actually take a look before going in.
Oh shit!
Nothing wrong with that.
Damn. No, it's all good. Hell, I'm too old for all that commotion.
I just want to make a quick announcement. I just received a message on X, if you will, formerly Twitter, from Securus Wallet. They say, thanks for the tag. While we have some time till DigiAssetX shuts its doors, Securus Wallet will provide a DigiAssets wallet to those who want it. So there you go.
I don't know what that is. And so maybe one of y'all smart people know if it's good, not good.
Well, I mean, bro, we don't.
Here's
the thing. Here's the thing. We don't need a. I don't need a Band-Aid for this wound. This wound is gonna. We all know that it's closing down anyway. So I appreciate Securus Wallet. Shout out to Vince, Jen Vince is name. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right.
Yeah. Jen Vice.
Yeah, Jen Vice. Yeah, shout out to him, bro. I love what he's doing with it. I love Securus. I fuck with that shit hard, but I just feel like we all know it's like a ticking time bomb. So you can put a Band-Aid on it, but that motherfucker's gonna explode regardless. At the end of the day, it's gonna explode.
Yeah, sometimes that scar looks good on your face. It gives you character, man.
Like Al Capone.
Character.
Shit,
that's what it's all about. Shit. Like I said, I'll have Dave explain that wallet to me, and if it's something that I'm just the least tech person in the world.
Here's the thing. So I mean, we can have a wallet.
My community.
We can have a temporary wallet for the NFTs. The problem is that once that site shuts down and once the company shuts down, I mean, the NFTs will be saved on the back end of the data. But in terms, like I said, until we get a new marketplace, even on Securus, it'll go away until we get a new marketplace.
Let's get into that a little bit because this is kind of in my wheelhouse. I've talked about this early on in the in the whole NFT space, because it comes down to custody. I mean, where is that image stored? And I had this argument with a highfalutin player in Bitcoin, and he's like, "Oh no, it's on the blockchain." I'm like, "No, it's not on the blockchain. You're going through a third party. I mean, you just got an address, a pointer that says this is the picture that you have. Well, where's the picture? It's just like, where's the Mona Lisa? I bought it. I mean, I don't want a pointer to it. I want to be able to hang it on the wall.
To a certain extent, he's correct because even with DigiByte, even with the Litecoin NFTs on Liteverse, so they are stored on the blockchain. The only difference is he's referring to the actual. You're referring to the actual third-party marketplace where they're sold.
Right.
They're not.
The address is sold.
Yeah.
So well, that's the difference of running Google servers versus IPFS.
Yeah.
So
right.
Through interplanetary,
and so that's what I want to get into.
You can have a distributed group of nodes across the globe,
and anybody
that's
can run
the beauty of IPFS versus a third party like Google servers.
Yeah, so I guess going forward, what's the solution theoretically? If we've got money and we can do this. I mean, what's the ideal solution to warehouse that stuff in a way that is decentralized yet verified? I guess.
If we've got, let's say money wasn't an option and we could just do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
The next step would be to create a new NFT marketplace for DigiByte because DigiAssetX is going out of business. So the next step for us to take as a community would be we need to get as much money as we possibly can for DigiAssetX. I'm sorry, the I think it was DigiByte Desktop, the thing that Renzo is working on. It's called DigiByte Desktop. The faster that DigiByte Desktop can be done and released, the faster we can potentially see something new. I'm not going to say much. I'm just saying we gotta tackle one thing at a time,
Yeah.
We have to bust our ass first before we can get back up. Shit.
No, I get you. And I would be more than willing to, and I looked at the whole DigiAssetX and running it and this and that. I mean, it has to become usable. And again, it takes time and resources.
And Clint, here's the sad thing, Clint, is that for the next, I'm going to predict the next year and a half, minimum 2 years, I don't think DigiByte's going to have NFTs. And it might be less. I could be wrong. I'm not fucking God. I don't know what it's going to be, but I feel like for one, I think there's still going to be 4 months to 6 months of DigiAssetX actually still running. So once that time ticker starts, that's when it'll be maybe a year or 2 years from that point, and when we could possibly potentially see a new marketplace for DigiByte. And also, Clint, I don't know if you were here when me and Dave were talking about it. But me and Dave were talking about it before you got here as well, Javier. We were on the subject of KYC. That was the one issue with DigiAssetX that even Liteverse doesn't have. I have noticed that about Litecoin NFTs. If you're doing Litecoin NFTs, there's no KYC requirement. and I see there's a lot more projects on Litecoin as well. So me and Majestic J, we would always want that kind of issue to go away, because that was the main thing turning NFT creators away from DigiBuy, was that it was a turnoff to them to have to use their passport or their driver's license just to sell an NFT, you know? So
I agree with you on that. I mean, it needs to, and so let's brainstorm the better world. You know, where do we need to be? And, you know, if there's a clear, concise, okay, this is the roadmap, I think people will put resources into it. I mean, I'll go buy a hard drive and I'll run IPFS, you know, and contribute to it.
Clint, let me tell you something. I know exactly how you're talking, because that's the same shit that would come out of my mouth. I'm like, okay, well, then what the fuck are we doing? Like, let's get this shit fixed. Trust me, I know what's going on. I just can't speak on it right now on the live.
Okay.
It's like, you know,
I got you.
We can't speak on it. I can tell you, tell you about it later, obviously, but
no, we got to have the ideas first, and that's the main thing, you know, to know that, okay, this is the path. How do we get there? You know, what's it going to take? And be thinking about that.
I like how you said that. Yeah, right now we've got the path, we've got the blueprint, we've got the map, we've got the GPS. We just need to put our fucking shoes on, tie our shoes, get our car keys, get in the car, drive, get the fuck out of there, and get on the path. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right now, you have a frozen pizza in the oven and you haven't even tied your shoes.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just getting fucking started.
No, I get it.
I feel like I'm laughing now, but honestly, I'm fucking hurt. It shit sucks because I've spent so much time on.
You put so much effort into it. I get it,
bro. It's insane, bro. It's insane to even.
I looked at all the stuff you put out there.
Yeah,
all
crazy,
those
bro.
NFTs. No, I get it. And you know what? I mean, it is what it is. It's like I invested in beta, and then VHS took over. My life, you know, and it's just like, son of a bitch, I got to start over again. And that's the resilience of this, though. It's because we know that it's valuable, and okay, yeah, we got kicked, you know, where we didn't want to get kicked, and okay, fine, all right, is what it is. You know, let's see if we can find a way better.
You know, Cubic, what doesn't put you down will make you a whole lot stronger. I mean, yeah, you spent time, and I mean, I've learned my lessons. Now that I've been hanging out with Dave, and he's helped me out to be able to move some of my my funds and understand how to use the fucking wallets that I've never known how to use. And so there's value in that. Should I have cashed out 3 or 4 times? I could have been with Dave. I could have been a baller. I could have been a stake in a room, just anything I needed. But it's everything happens for a reason, and so I think it's going to give you that confidence of doing your best, getting in a good place where you're supported, best of you, and then you will be a big, huge decision maker because of what you've learned from your experience. At least that's the only way I have ever learned, is by hitting the ground. I mean, that's the only way I can learn. I'm a caveman.
No, I feel you, bro. That's how everyone learns. You get your ass beat, and then you get back up, and you learn how not to get your ass beat next time. Yeah, it's just how it is, bro. You
learn to punch first, and so I think that it's going to prepare you for a really good change. Like I said, it's not that I don't want you in DigiBuy. If you go back, great, you're supported there, but you've got also great communities in Litecoin. And even other communities, if you just
well, the good thing about that is that I don't ever have to leave DigiBuy, because I've created what's called the Dub Collective, and I don't know if I've told you, but essentially I'm gonna have different versions of my artwork on different blockchains, but they won't be tied to each other. You know, it's gonna be different artwork, different projects. So the Litecoin thing will be tied to Qubit House, but through a third, like a partner company, basically. So it's not gonna be Qubit House on Litecoin. It's gonna be the partner company that owns both NFT projects, but it's going to be different artwork on Litecoin, if that makes sense.
It is. I'll tell you what, that stuff that you were posting,
perfect example. If you own 2 Chick-fil-A's or 2 McDonald's or 2 fast food franchises, you're going to have different managers. You might have a good manager, and then the other location might have a manager who's terrible as shit. You know, so that's just what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying new things. I'm improvising. I'm just kind of, you know.
The stuff that you were putting out where it's going down the hallway and it fucking looks real all the way down till you get to the the little cartoon. Dude, I know nothing about art, so I'm not playing it any justice. I see it, and I see the quality in what you're doing. I don't understand it. If I ever own one, it'll be one of yours, probably through Dave once he shows me how to get one of those. But I do understand the involvement of the realistic hallway. He probably disappeared, didn't hear me, but
No,
his work's incredible.
No, I'm listening to you, bro. I got fuckers blowing up my phone and shit right now. I'm listening to you though. I can hear what you're saying, bro. I'm listening to you.
All right.
Yeah, your shit's incredible, dude.
I'm gonna get philosophical
I appreciate
a little
it, bro.
bit.
I really appreciate it.
All right. Here's how I look at it.
Thank you for removing the hat.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it back on. I'll put the tinsel fringe hat back on. But
it looks good on you.
No, when it comes down to it, it's I mean, artwork should exist as it is. It doesn't matter on the blockchain, doesn't matter any of that stuff. It's just being able to access it. And my big thing is, all right, if you're creating art, where's the art museum? Where's it going to be stored? Now that can be on maybe another blockchain, Filecoin. I don't know. There's all these names bandied about. IPFS. It can be stored. I want it on something decentralized. I'm willing to participate, and run a node and, have it fractioned, and sharded, whatever needs to be done to be able to protect that. Because when somebody creates art, I think that's an important thing in the digital age, that it's not centralized. It has to be somewhere to where it's there. And if you want to pull it, download it, print it, whatever it is, then you have access to be able to do that through whatever blockchain it is. I think that's an important thing. Now, the notarization of that art can be on any blockchain, I think. It can be on Litecoin, it can be on DigiByte, it can be on Bitcoin, it can be on anything. There's a cost to all of them. But ultimately, and maybe this is my old school way of thinking, again, wanting my hands on what I've bought, having possession of what I've bought and being able to access it anytime I want. I think it's important that we have the ability to pull that image down and do whatever we want with it, rather than saying, oh, well, this third party, is hanging on to the address and they're storing the images, so you got to log in and do this and maybe KYC. No, I don't want to do any of that crap. I just want to, I want to use DigiID. I want to use something that verifies who I am on my phone, like I face scan and say, yeah, that's who he is. He can access this stuff. And he bought, one of 100 of these things. Well, I want that image because I want to print it out. Where do I print it? Well, you got to go to this third party and log in, and then you can print it and verify, and all that crap. No, I want that to be decentralized. I want the whole world to be decentralized because, at that point, we're in control. And that's really what it is. Now, I don't know if it's ordinals, but when you get into ordinals, that gets into, there's a cost to that. With Bitcoin, you saw what that did to Bitcoin. You put ordinals on Bitcoin and look at the cost. I mean, it went $35, $40 for a transaction fee to interact with that network just to access your art. I mean, that's unacceptable to me. And so we've got other blockchains that can do that, and it can be any blockchain as far as I'm concerned. But ultimately, where is it stored? Where is it protected in this digital world when I throw my phone away and go to a foreign country and say, all right, I need to restore my identity where I'm at and verify who I am and verify that I've got access to these assets. I want those assets to be in this virtual hologram, decentralized place that I can verify who I am and pull those things down, whatever blockchain I'm using. Doesn't matter because blockchains change. They've got, whatever. You need to be able to move to whatever one you want. So I'm all theorizing here, but that's the world I want to be in, to where, hey, dropped everything I have here, I moved somewhere else and, I got my digital artwork and, you go and, if I'm 20 years old, 30 years old, I pick up some lady, bring her home, I got, hey, I want to pull this stuff down and show her, hey, I'm one of 100, baby. I got this on the wall. Only I and 99 other people can do this. Where's that stored at? How can I get to that? Because I paid for it, instead of carrying it with you. Because that's the whole idea of the digital space. You don't want to carry your assets with you. You just want to have access to them because the blockchain should take care of that. And so, it's a big scope of things that I'm talking about, but
well, question.
It's an important thing, I think.
Question: Would someone be able, like an entrepreneur, would an entrepreneur be able to do something to where, like, everyone used to have those digital picture frames in your house where
Yes.
it would flash different pictures
Yes.
all the time. Well, what if there were a way to do that as a content creator, whereas you could sell the address and the IP rights to that artwork and actually assign a wallet to that picture frame, and offer that to your customers as well?
Would that be like music?
Anything digital. Anything digital,
I mean,
you have the
art
rights
is art.
that you've created. Right. Anything artistic you've created.
You got the IP, the intellectual property. It goes
or the copyright for your image, and it says, listen, the IP is a little bit different, but it isn't. But say that picture frame's open source. Let's just look at that. And you can put whatever you want on it if you own it and you've paid for it. It's just like, think Apple Music, for instance. It's, hey, I bought this, or I subscribe to this service, so I have access to these things. I've bought certain things. I bought something from Qubit, and I love that art. There's only so many of those. There might be just one of those. I want to show that art off. How do I do that? If I'm in, I'm traveling the world, I'm crypto rich, whatever. I travel the world, and, I show up at my hotel, and I'm like, I want to be able to show that on the hotel TV screen, or whatever they have to display that and show everybody, look, yeah, I'm the one that owns it. And so I authenticate in whatever way, and then boom, okay, now you have access to that picture, download it and show it. Nobody else has that.
Well, that's what I was curious.
That'd be some dope ass shit right there.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's the world that we're going to be in, and I think that all the tools will be built, but ultimately that's kind of the end game to me. It's to where, I got a key, I can put it in my digibug, I can start it up, I can do this, but if I've got a piece of art, I can't carry that. I don't want to carry, the freaking Rembrandt with me everywhere I go. No, I want to be able to show, because it's all going to be digital. I want to be able to show that wherever I go. And so how do we authenticate that it's not a copy, it's not this or that? Because anybody can screenshot it. Anybody can right click and save. It's just that, no, this is verified. I'm the only one that has the original piece. Well, where does that exist? It has to exist somewhere. And what better place than on the blockchain? And I understand the data constraints.
Let me ask you this, Clint.
Yeah.
I mean, tattoo artist, could he NFT it on your arm? And now that is the only place that exists. And I don't know. I don't know if, because art is art.
Hey, Javier, now you're trying to get into some Illuminati bullshit. You're trying to get into the market.
I know. We're getting.
I was going to get it on my butt cheek.
The physical and the digital here a little.
I was going to get my butt cheek.
Hey, brother.
With one of your,
Harvard did a study several years ago that says we can store terabytes of information on our DNA. Am I for that? But I think there are certain people that are for that. They understand that. You can store your wallets. You can store everything on your DNA. Your identity. Everything that you want to store can be done on your DNA. And then I guess the question is, does that get passed on to somebody if you get a little reckless?
Yeah, how available is your DNA every time you
got a Hunter Biden illegitimate child? Does that DNA carry through? No. I don't acknowledge that, but no.
Yeah, my DNA. The problem with the DNA is I'm sweating and someone's got my DNA. Bleeding or somebody takes blood.
But I think, it's encoded inside of you. But it comes down to the point to where anywhere I go, I want my assets to go with me, and I want them available at all times.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie though, Clint. That's actually a good idea. Like I low key would do some shit like that. Like put my private key in my DNA. Like fuck off. Like you're not.
It can all be written on there, and then it's a matter of, okay, I want to access it. How do I access it? What tools are built or are available to be able to say, I am giving my permission to access that and do something with it. I mean, it's a brave new world. I mean, it really is, but that's where we're at. I mean, we're in this digital infrastructure, and they want to use it against us. They want to, hey, well, face scan, put your palm down, do all this shit. to fit into our system. It's like, okay, how can we decentralize that? How can we make that to where, we empower ourselves to have control of our identity and all of our assets in the digital world? And it's like a, mind-blowing thing, but these are the discussions we need to have, because they've already got it planned out. I'm not willing to go along that path because I know they're corrupt vampires and I don't want to play in their system. It's just like, no, I want to be able to go anywhere I want and not walk into the casino and say, okay, retina scan. Okay, now you can have all your shit. And no, that's not the kind of system that we need. So we got to kind of start thinking about, what does this new world mean? What does this new digital world mean? And what assets do we have that we carry with us? Because it's a very freeing thing. If you can walk anywhere you want, become a sovereign individual, and you no longer are controlled by borders, you're an alien everywhere you go, so to speak. And you've got all of the assets that you've ever acquired in your life that, you can do whatever you want with them and restore them, show them, wherever you're at. And, this is getting way out there, but I think that's where we're going. And we got to have this discussion.
Well, how feasible, hey, Steak, how feasible is it for you to hide some information within your NFT Cubic? In other words, someone requests, hey, I want something. Now I'm traveling with my NFT. I'm the only one that has the NFT. If you've got a copy of the piece of paper, it doesn't matter because I have it in my phone, which is the original NFT. And at that point, that is my seed. I don't know. That is my seed phrase in the future, or within that NFT is.
I get where you're going, Javier, but think outside a little bit further. Go X-Files, go woo-woo, because all of the information, all the data can be stored on the blockchain that's running on thousands of computers around the world, rather than NSA computers, rather than Amazon Web Services, rather than Google services. It can be stored in a decentralized way, and we just need to be able to access it and identify ourselves and say, no, that's my shit. Nobody else can access it. And I mean, having that kind of world is important. Wow. And so, I mean, everything's going digital. All the assets are going digital. And it goes back to digital music. What do you own? What did you acquire during your life? And you want to just leave and take that with you, but just be able to access it somewhere else. That's where that decentralized blockchain, that network that operates outside of their systems that they made easy for us, because how easy is it to, do the Dropbox, send it up there. Apple data, send it up there, and then it gets hacked. No, I don't want to live in that kind of world. No, I want to be able to authenticate to something that I feel is secure, that we're all controlling, whether it's IPFS or something. Like I said, I'll put, what's a terabyte of hard drive space at this point? Nothing. I'll contribute to that network. And, we all contribute to that network, and it's just a matter of authenticating in some way to verify our identity to access everything, our store of value that we have. Hey, my house title, marriage license, whatever it is, doesn't matter where we go, we've got some sort of authentication, some sort of something that's stored on the blockchain that we pull back and say, look, here it is, F you. It's mine. All right, I'm getting way out there. I'll leave it there.
Let us know
that's
something,
not
Steak.
Out there. I mean, it's. Oh yeah, how you doing, Steak? What's going on, bro?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I just came in here, of course, and I'm a little bit off topic. But funny story. I was growing a beard a couple of weeks, pretty big one, and it was getting a little bit bushy. So I was like, yeah, I have to trim that shit because I actually have a date tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, I better trim that shit, So I got I know, Clint. Good redhead. Anyway, I bought a shaver, a Philips shaver, and I fucked up one part of the cheek. So I guess suffice to say, I rock a goatee right now.
Cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So all the ladies
ain't
get to see
nothing
his
wrong
face,
with
but
that.
we don't get to see his face. I see how it is.
It's like a talking pussy right now.
That's all right. I almost lost my 67 Corvette and my pussy. Oh my God, I feel so bad for you, Biden.
I do the Heisenberg look now with the bald head,
Yeah, exactly. Let's
The
cut.
glasses, the hat.
Shit.
I'm the one who knocks.
That's funny as fuck, dude.
But you guys were discussing NFTs, right?
Yeah, data,
Yeah,
digital
I
data,
don't know.
digital
I don't know.
artwork, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just
We're all
data,
over.
all kind of stuff.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is difficult to comprehend is that we have the current system and then we see some sort of transition or reform to a new system. And it's easy to think that some things will replace other things and that you'll have the same line of process. But you could just, eradicate some process completely because you've got a new technology and shorten the actual supply chain of data. So it is, I think, going to be completely different if you're going to get a completely different hardware, even from the chips to like telecommunications, but also through like fiberglass and then even routers. And will we even have routers? Like, will we have like mini cloud computing in your own home as a storage? Like, are we going to have our own data centers, stuff like that? It's it's uh it's going to change a lot over the next, probably not next year or 2 years, but probably somewhere 7 to 10 years down the line. And I'm afraid that we are going to go in the direction that we know we are go. And I like to be hopeful and optimistic that it won't be as detrimental to society that it could be potentially. Because I still hope that development is a good innovation for humanity. But we can all see the risks and hopefully the silver lining. But it's just who wants to live in a society where you might have QR codes everywhere and you might get geographically restricted from that you're not welcome somewhere or in a supermarket or buying a certain product, or that your data is, it's more like a credit system, social credit system, but then in the West. And if an NFT is completely registered to yourself, it goes into that philosophy of meritocracy. And, from an individual perspective, that kind of makes sense because you want to say if you work hard, you deserve something. But if you look at it from the top down and you helicopter view the entire society, there will always be people that were simply unlucky, not because they worked hard, but they were unlucky. It happens. And should a society then say that if you're unlucky in life, that we should say, fuck you, I'm not paying for that? I don't know if maybe it's the European socialist in me that's speaking, and if so, shoot me. But it's probably, yeah, I said it. But I think there's more to it than just socialism or capitalism. I think that there is some sort of sense of responsibility there that often gets overlooked because everyone looks at the top of the market and the rich guys, but never to the bottom of society where the poor people are that have to get along with it.
And you know what, though, Steak? I mean, look at the history of America. I mean, there were people who did really well before we had really the big control system that we do now. And those people.
You mean the Native Americans?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go way back. But I mean, look at our current Western structure. And, before we had income tax, I mean, how do we survive without income tax? Oh my God. How people should have been dying on the streets. There were people dying on the streets. I mean, but there were people who were successful that took care of those people who died on the streets because there was a humanitarian aspect. There's always that humanitarian side of things to where, hey, I did well. I want to help somebody. I want to start a foundation. I want to start a charity. I want to build a town that allows.
Yeah,
and I think there's going to be good and evil no matter what, and no matter what system we have. And I mean, in the past, I mean, you saw people who built things because they had money, because they saw a need, and they're like, you know what, my time here is very finite. I've got all this money. What am I going to do with it to make humanity better? I've done very well for myself. I don't need the government to tell me that, hey, that person needs help. I'm going to go do it myself because I have the wherewithal and means to do it.
There's a difference between a Carnegie and a Rockefeller.
There is. There absolutely is. And that's what I mean. There's always going to be good and evil. And there's always that fight. No matter if we have government that supposedly steps in and makes it right through laws, regulation, constitutional, precepts. But it's, that's not going to change, and it won't change in the future. And so if we do well, and if people do well, if humans do well, we need to do well by others. And that's the most important thing, I think, in looking to government, because government just has that inherent need to become corrupt and become controlling because they want to protect their interests. I don't know that that's the answer, because it might work out for a time, but after a while, it just gets inherently corrupt just because people are corrupt. And so if we don't stand in the void between evil, if good people don't stand in that void between evil and say, no, enough is enough. And we've seen plenty of examples throughout history to where, okay, I'm not going to follow that order. I'm going to stand for the people. I mean, we just, we need to do that. And I just look at it as, we got to be thinking about those things as we go forward, because we're in a whole new ball game. The digital world can enslave and control everybody at every level through finance, through every transaction we make. If we don't figure out some way to have an option, at least, to opt out of that and not participate in that, then we're done. And so that's kind of all I throw out there, is that, hey, let's build the options. Let's think of the big picture. Let's try and build those things in a decentralized way, because I think we know better than government officials do how best to help other people. And so if we're given that option, if we have that option because people are forward thinking enough, I think that those are the kind of people I want to support. Those are the kind of things I want to think about. It's not, I don't count on government fixing it, is what it comes down to, just because they're not going to fix it.
Yeah,
they're
I was going to ask
fix it.
What's the difference between the Carnegies and the Rothschilds? The Carnegies sold out to the Rothschilds? I don't know.
No, the Carnegie fella kind of got remorse when he got older in life, and both were bastards when they made their money, but one of them, the Carnegie, actually tried to give back to society. And, in a way you could say that, what has he done? But he tried to at least, give some money to public libraries, universities, build civil structures and buildings. That's why you have so many buildings with the name Carnegie Hall and all that sort of shit all over the world. And, at least he didn't just donate his shit. He tried to build something that lasts. And I think that, you could say of him what he did in his life, but at least, I think that aspect is admirable. So I think it ties in with what Clinton was saying. And you have more corporatism in America, and you have more maybe government, the government angle in Europe in that regard. But data is a big one. And then there's the whole AI angle as well in regards to your security and privacy. Because once you get to toy with people's biometrics and with AI, oh boy, that becomes fun. I've been doing a few AI spaces the last couple of months with people that build apps in that and what they're working on. That stuff is even more mind-blowing than you can think of.
Yeah, that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen because humanity won't stop. I mean, because there are people who are going to push and push and push and push until something breaks. And so we need to.
The AI shit is getting crazy, definitely getting out of hand. And we're just getting started.
And this is just like the beginning. It's the acceleration that happens with it, and then. Not only from AI, not only just large language models that people usually talk about with ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is like the shitty AI, the shittiest AI there is, and people are already blown away with it. So it's there's more and then you combine that software aspect of AI along the years with a hardware improvement of quantum technology, and then you get both of them together. That creates a very big need for proper encrypted personal data, because otherwise, we probably already are, but you really become like a slave to the narrative, and fuck knows who's controlling that one.
Yeah,
but it's something to also be positive with what it can create, because I don't think any government can control AI. Any government will lose that, because AI eventually, if it becomes artificial general intelligence like AGI, like the really super advanced stuff that can improve itself, then it's just going to take off. And
Let me ask you this, Dave. Is it going to be? Is it going to become more transparent? Because right now there's a lot of people that don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe in the future, because of AI and smart young people like Cubic and everybody else, are they going to be able to look into the governments or the people that control
no, look,
everything's?
Javier,
No.
Google the black box problem, and that basically says that in AI we sometimes don't even know how the AI comes up with the answer, and they call that the black box problem, and that's already happening. And then you ask for more transparency. If anything, it becomes more opaque.
That's very interesting. The stake, I never heard of that. The black box problem.
Yeah, it's a big moral conundrum in AI that if you give it advanced input, it comes out with the correct answer, but we don't know how it derived that answer, and because it's too complex to understand, and they call that the black box problem. That's basically the short version of it.
Yeah, no, that's very, very interesting. Actually, I'm gonna have to research that. That's pretty cool. Hey, how's everything else been with you, man? How is it in where are you at? You're in Amsterdam, or where are you at? Netherlands?
Yeah. I am 30 minutes north of Amsterdam. It's about 1 o'clock at night right now. I was about to go to bed, but I saw the link to my DMs. I was like, ah, fuck it, I'll probably go online anyway. And life's all right. I'm just waiting for March 2025.
Hell yeah, waiting for that bull run, huh?
I am really waiting for that bull run. And in the meantime, I just try to educate myself and
Yeah, for sure.
try to help others along the way wherever you can. And hopefully don't do stupid shit.
Man, I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad you hopped on, bro. I hadn't heard from you in a while, man. It's good hearing from you again. You always, I remember back in the day, you were always, telling us, a lot of the back end shit going on at DigiByte. I like that shit. So I like to go down the rabbit hole, And sometimes you're the motherfucker that leads you down the rabbit hole.
Oh, the rabbit hole is pretty big. The rabbit hole is pretty deep in DigiByte, but it's just the question is, who wants to hear that rabbit hole? I mean, it's such a niche of a niche of a niche, and yeah, that's maybe something that I've been toying around with the idea, and me and Dave have discussed it before, like how to present that. I might write an article about it at some point. I might do a Substack or a YouTube video about it, explaining it. Then there's just a fuckload to unpack, and there's also the whole angle of disrupting people's work potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure you disrupt.
Now, when you say disrupting work, you mean from an inside perspective, or like someone from the outside trying to like mess with DigiByters? You mean someone
let me just lay it out like this. If you know something or have a fairly good evidence-based narrative of something that's going on, and you have to kind of wonder why that story hasn't been told by themselves yet, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a reason for that, and I'm not aware of the reason other than maybe they're still waiting for the right timing, or something is being built, like the obvious conclusions. But I would definitely be throwing a wrench in someone's plans, because otherwise it would already be out there, right? So from that perspective, I would obviously at least piss one person off. probably gain a lot of friends along the way, but I will at least piss one person off. So
definitely make a lot of friends.
I just want to be respectful to the person that I don't know who I'll piss off by at least, be correct about it and plan it and time it in a correct manner, because ultimately those people think that they're building the right thing for humanity too. And I don't want to crush on someone's dreams. I want to, if I bring the story out, I would love for other people to see it and like, oh fuck, I should probably buy a little bit of DigiByte. It's not going to be. I don't believe in one chain, but I do believe that this DigiByte is far too unpopular for what it is doing. Like I see it almost on the level of what XRP is doing without the volume. And it's that angle that I think is completely under documented in crypto. Like no one is looking at this side of the project. No one cares. Everyone is full of FOMO and memes. And then there's the big projects that have been around for a while that everyone knows. But DigiByte's been around pretty long time too in crypto in general. I mean, it's at least 9 years now, so that's not nothing.
Yeah, 9 years. And it's going to be 10 years in January. January what? 10th?
Yeah.
10 years.
Yep.
Decade.
Yes, sir.
I believe that's a big thing.
10-year anniversary coming up, man. That's going to be crazy.
For a UTXO, yeah. And there's a lot to be said about various details, in my opinion, and that's where usually people talk about, like what version is coming out of the core. And I get it. It's interesting stuff. Like, is 8.222 done? Is Rosetta going to be implemented? I mean, stuff like that is interesting. But there's a lot of things in the ecosystem that are much more interesting that don't even have a UI to tie everything in. And it's like they purposely don't want people to work with it yet, because why else wouldn't you do that? It's like, why else would you not have a UI? I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So it's that angle, Qubit. Thanks for the assist, but it's that angle that I think even if you just look at Freefold, that's an interesting one. If you just look at DigiByte Alliance, that's an interesting aspect. And then if you look at Freefold and DigiCorp Labs, Digi3, and its connection with LCX, Liechtenstein Exchange, the only exchange that's registered in America that ties Swiss banking and European banking to the US. I mean, it's stuff like that DigiByte Alliance is doing a 501c3. They almost have all the states together to do a 501c3.
They only need like one more state, or correct? Like
one or two. I thought two more, but maybe by now it's one.
Yeah. They only need Illinois. They're only waiting on Illinois.
Right. So, and it's that angle that I don't think many people respect enough, because right now, if you want to have, in general right now, like I'm not talking about Bitcoin or Litecoin, I'm just talking in general projects in crypto. If you want to raise funds to pay developers, which you need, people don't generally work for free. And if you need money, you get either a venture capitalist, but they want the bottom line. They just want more and more money. So you get fraud in our system, like we've seen so many times, because venture capitalists just want to get paid. And if your competitor is being better at it, we buy your competitor. That's what VCs do. Or you get an initial coin offering, an ICO, and you might not be compliant, or you run into the risks of having one founder and being at the mercy of someone's emotions and stability on to lead a company and to have correct vision and then also manage everything. There's a lot of responsibility to burden on one shoulder, or two shoulders on one person. So if you could create a 501c3 where you could say, okay, I'm going to deduce my tax dollars tax-free to fund education or developers over blockchain, then everyone pays taxes annually. At least the common folk do, the big companies don't. But if you do that, you can actually invest in something, make profit of it, and the taxes of that investment you put back into the developers that develop on the chain. It's almost like a loop. It's almost like a tax-free investment in that sense, especially if you are one of the developers. I mean, that becomes even more funny. You make money with the investment, and then your taxes pay your own salary again. It's just like it's like an infinite loop. So that's a big angle that I think is very how do you say that, underrated? Like why aren't people more excited about that, especially in the US? I mean, we have so much fraud, and yet complete radio silence. It's like the entire space doesn't pay attention, or does, and I get it. It's too much to follow in general, but it doesn't get a lot of traction. It does, but it doesn't get a lot of traction.
100% right, Javier. Win Moon, and
the
money will be there. You know, as we get into 2024 and 2025, and you know, people will be, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that, and it's like we got to be ready. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You've got to be ready. You got to realize what you have. You got to realize the power that you have, and how are you going to deploy that powerful economic weapon in the future. You know, we talk about Rockefellers versus Carnegie's. It's, you know, when you've got wealth, what are you going to do with it? You know, think about this. Everybody out there, throw that out there. If for some reason you're hearing this and you say, you know what, I'm going to throw some money at this stuff, and holy cow, I had no idea that it would return, you know, the purchasing power that I now have in 2 years. What are you going to do with it? That's the biggest problem people have. They're trying to escape the system. They realize they're getting shafted by the system. And then when they have the opportunity to say, wow, I got a little FU money, what am I going to do with it? What's my course of action? Most people don't know. They can't dream that big. They can't think of, you know, what's going to make you happy? What's going to give you, what are you going to do with the resources that you have? Those weapons that you were fortunate enough and took the chance on that paid off well. What are you going to do with it? Are you just going to say, I'm out, I'm cashing out, man, look at this, I made all this money, I'm going to go buy this big house, this boat, whatever, Lambo. You know, you got to realize, you know, why you're in the game, what's the end goal. That's really what it comes down to, because they can print unlimited amounts of money right now in the current system. You're never going to beat that as long as the system exists. So how do you navigate through that and make the world a better place with more tools than you ever thought you'd ever have? And I mean, that's the most important thing. How do we help humanity? How do we usher in a better world rather than the world that they're trying to create for us? What do we do? I think we all got different answers.
I think, you know, my answer is that you're not going to be able to save anyone, because most people are going to spend their money on stupid shit. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be one of those things where either you have it or you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. What do we do with it? You know, what are we going to do? How are we going to make things better?
I think sharing those thoughts and being open about that takes courage, but that also gives you insight in saying, okay, I'm not aware of this part of the space. Can you please tell me? Many people usually feel ashamed that they don't know something, yet this entire ecosystem is so vast. You cannot know everything. Like, I like to focus on regulation. I barely can keep a hold of that and keep track of that. Do you think I've got time to know the nitty gritty about wallets or NFTs or TA? I know the basics, but you know that shit evolves too. I mean, and then other people are super.
The space is moving so fast. I mean, it's like the universe is just constantly expanding. Like, you can't.
Yeah, it's like a quickening moment to where it's like,
yeah.
Hey, I'm pregnant for 8 months and 9 months, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, the baby's coming. It's like, now what?
Right.
I thought I was ready, but I'm not ready.
Run away, start anew, make a new one. But it's just you're right. But it's that aspect that I think if you really pay attention to what some people are doing in regards to, like, really trying to specialize in one thing, and you just get them in a space together, then suddenly you start to connect more dots, because everyone seems to be on the same timeline, and then you get like this bigger narrative of like, okay, what's the red wire between everything? And that paints a good picture of where this space is going. Like, I think I have a fairly good grasp of where it's going, on what happened and on where it's going. And I don't know if I'm bullish, to be very honest, because I'm bullish on price, but I don't know if I'm bullish on morality.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. No, that's an honest assessment, because I think we all struggle with that. Steak, I liked your idea that you threw out there. I don't know, it was last week or a couple of weeks ago, and we'll talk about it maybe more tomorrow. But it was, hey, maybe we all start a church, or maybe we start a church and we all just kind of disconnect and get above all this bullshit and do what we want to do. Because, you see the mega churches out there doing whatever they want to do and throwing money at this and that. And I mean, and they're kind of outside this whole structure. I mean, there are many ways, many paths to the top of the mountain. And my thing is, can we get people thinking about that? How do I get to the top of the mountain? And once I'm there, though, that's the thing. You win the lotto. Oh, I won the lotto. Oh,
well, you have like this riddle. You have like this riddle, right? Of where does power reside? And for some people, it's I don't know the complete riddle, but it's more like for some people, it's it's spirituality is a religion. It's the pious, it's the godly, it's the holy. And for other people, it's the pure brute strength and the actual power and the military and the physicality of it and the enforcement of it. And for others, it's money, it's the banker, it's the economist, it's the coin, it's the mercenary, it's being paid. And then there's the fourth option, which I kind of like, and that's more like the general consensus. It's like where call it the virtue, the good, like where do we want it to go? And I think often that gets overshadowed by people's desire for one of the three. And I don't think you necessarily need a church, but it was more like tongue in cheek in the fact that if you do start one, you don't have to pay taxes.
Right. And no, and that's what I kind of throw out there, because it's like, well, nobody sees an option to get out of this system. Maybe that's an option for right now. But then you take French Revolution thing.
It is an option.
Might makes right eventually. I mean, that's the mentality. If there's that brute force, like you said, you can have a church, but it gets bombed out. Or you get arrested, or it doesn't matter if you're in the right. Sometimes physical force will pull you out of it. But if you've got enough people thinking on the same wavelength, that's when it's like, okay, no, you're not going to do this anymore. We're going to do what we want to do, and you don't have authority. And especially if you've got money to back it up and resources to back it up, at some point you can change the narrative. And I just want people to think about, how can you change the narrative? You don't like what you see now. How can you change the narrative at some level?
And Clint,
I believe, Clint, in not creating more mess than there already is, but maybe that's inevitable with human life. But I would say that, and I've been saying this for a long time, and I'm keep repeating it, and I know it's not a popular opinion, but I stick with it. I think ultimately people like us in our age demographic, between probably 30 to 45 right now, with good knowledge on what this is, should just continue that path, and at some point flirt with the idea to go into government at some position, because old people die, and eventually you'll need.
There's always a churn.
Yeah, and eventually you want to have people in power that at least have knowledge of what it is. They might not make the right decisions, they might be corrupt, but at least they know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. At least, they're selling themselves out, and everybody can see it. I look at, like tonight, we have the presidential debates on the Republican side, and we've got, of course, Donald Trump not participating, and he's going to release an interview with Tucker Carlson at the same time. And then
so who was there? Who was in the debate? Was it DeSantis?
Tonight in a couple hours, like an hour or so, it's going to be DeSantis, Pence, Vivek. I can't think of his name, what it is.
But it's probably going to be DeSantis there, right? Because as a foreigner, I don't follow it, and I know those names, so they're probably the biggest.
Yeah, those are the biggest. And then you've got Nikki Haley, used to be the governor of South Carolina. Mike Pence, former vice president.
I actually like Nikki Haley.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got a lot of those. You've got 8 of them debating tonight, and I look at it like this: that whole structure to where somebody's going to come in and save us. I mean, the only reason I voted for Trump in 2016, and I got to the point where I'm not voting for parties. I want to vote for
I
sound money.
want something opposite to that.
Yeah,
I want someone saying, no one's going to, I want something.
Sound money, that fixes
No,
things.
I want someone that says no one's going to fucking save you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the case. It's like, the only thing that's going to save you is you. And I think when you're talking about elected positions, when I first went into college, I went into political science. That was my first degree. And like everybody else, we changed our degrees once we go into college. But the whole reason I went into political science is because it's like, I want to be able to change things because I see things are screwed up even at that age. And, I ended up going and getting an English degree, teacher certification and all that. But it's, we all want to make things better. And I think at the national level, I don't think we can make things better. But I think if we do have the wherewithal to run at a local level, especially in the United States, if you can run for a position like the sheriff that is directly elected by the people and controls the county, they can hold back all the tyranny. And a governor, and that's why I have a problem with DeSantis, being a governor that's been very successful in Florida. I mean, why are you running for president? You're not going to get anything done. We had a bull in the China shop, that I voted for in 2016. I'm like, vote for Trump so he can go in and break all this shit.
You studying political science, you know at least one thing that's true. And Bernie Sanders, you might like him or not, but he's a good example of it. Yeah, but he's a good example of it. Like you can spend 50 or 60 years of your life hammering one point, and you might tilt the scale a little bit. And
but it doesn't make a difference in the big picture. It doesn't. So you got to go local, and that's why.
Yeah, but you know what I mean with that. I do.
Yeah, I 100% do. I mean, you can have the right ideas, everything, but no, I'm not doing that. And so you got to look at the local level. You got to look at what you can change in your real life, and that's why I always say you got to trust yourself. You got to look at the local people. You got to build a local community. You've got to understand what your rights are, and you've got to be able to protect those rights and have people at that local level to protect those, human rights that are gifted by God. And so you've got to be able to. You've got to have the right people in place.
Hey, y'all
think I think that's more effective.
Y'all think Bernie Sanders is still getting pussy?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll tell you what, that's something that.
But it's probably like a dog eating yogurt.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, you messed up my meal.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Oh shit.
No, but there's a lot of power.
I've said a dog eating yogurt.
Right.
I don't want to put that visual image in your head, man. But
yeah, no, I'm trying to block it out. I'm trying not to even discuss it. But if you can become the sheriff of a county, and
you're right,
and just enforce the human rights in that county, and be that barricade, be that wall. I mean, really, what are they going to do? Send federal troops in? And you say no? Well, start deputizing people, and you've got your own army. I mean, you got to start looking at things a little bit differently and stop looking for a savior, because you're the savior. I mean, everything you do right now, you're the savior of humanity. And that's what I want people to start looking at.
One thing national government could do better is two things, in my opinion, not just in the US, but in Europe and globally too. They could do two things better, in my opinion. They could explain things better, why things are moving the way they are. And I think they could also alleviate the burden of failure of people to say, that's part of the system. It's not you. It's not you. We created this system. That's why you're struggling. And I feel that it might be a thin line between giving accountability, but when you do that, you basically alleviate people of their stress and their failure, and saying, it's okay. It happened because, not of myself, not because of meritocracy, but because the system's fucked. And now we have a politician actually saying it. And I don't know how, and now I don't have to kill myself because I feel a lot better because I failed, not because of myself, because of someone else.
And you're right. And you make a great point, because there are a lot of people, and you're going to see a lot of people here in the coming months that are going to have that desperation and say, you know what, it's not even worth it anymore. Why am I even here? And they're going to take themselves out. I mean, we saw a lot of people do that in the last 3 years. I mean,
good. Give me your crypto. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, give me your crypto. If you want to leave, that's fine. That's cool.
Right, and a lot of people did that, though. You look at FTX, you look at all these things, and I think they subconsciously gave it over because they don't empower themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they have the ability to be independent and sovereign. They don't believe that, oh, I can control my money. No, I want somebody else to take care of that. I mean, we got to get out of that mindset that somebody else is going to fix things. I mean, we got to get in that mindset, and crypto really activates that in people, I think, in that, it's a whole bigger picture. But I think at a spiritual level, it really gets people thinking that, you know what? Holy shit. I can actually have my energy stored up in something that I can use anytime I want. Nobody can control me. I don't have to ask the government or a bank for permission, to do something that I want to do. No. Hey, come here to Westwood. And it's like, well, I'm a little low on alcohol. I guess I can go get more. Well, if you can't pay for it in crypto at the store, it's like, okay, pay me and I'll go get it. It's like, you can get things that you want to be free to do the things you want to do with that new thing, that new technology. And I think that's an important thing to realize as we go full bore into this digital control grid, this vampire casino, that is going digital. We don't have to participate in that. We can start doing it at a local level, a peer-to-peer level, to where it's like, oh, I can send you value. Nobody can stop me from doing that. Okay, cool. Okay, I got something you need. Boom, done. And it's just so many people don't understand that they have the power to do that because they've been trained to, oh, well, it's the law. You can't fight City Hall. There's nothing you can do about it. Death and taxes. I mean, get out of that mindset. Get out of that realm. Don't even let that enter your consciousness and just break free from it and realize you've got a tool right now. You got many tools right now. Start using them. Don't wait for, oh, gosh, if it goes up, then I can really do something. Well, start doing it now. I mean, with what resources that you have. And then, if those extra resources come, just expand it and become a better human being and offer more things to humanity. I mean, we've got to change ourselves and our thinking now. Otherwise, we're never going to change. And I guess that's my point. Trust yourself and believe in yourself and start acting accordingly.
Hey, fucking facts.
That's all I got.
Hey, let me ask you something. How many old fashions are we 5 or 6?
Well, I need another one. I'm down to the cherries in the bottom right now. I need some more ice and more cherries, and I'm out of cigars. I got to go back in. And so, if we're not going to wrap this up, I'm going back in. If we are, then I guess I'm done.
Well, I'm actually, I got to get out of here, man. It was good talking to you guys.
All right.
Steak, Dave, I appreciate you hosting this. Javier, it sounds like you're over there eating fucking lobster and steak or some shit.
He probably is. Off. This guy.
Hey, Cubit, will you come on more often?
I will. I'm going to start coming on more often, bro. I'm just really busy right now, but I'm going to start. I think I might even come on tomorrow.
Dude, just keep us updated on what's going on, man, because that's what it is. It's all about solving the problems. It's all about figuring it out. When we get hit in the face, it's like, all right, fine. We'll figure it out.
Sure.
We'll figure it out together.
No, I definitely. Yeah. It was good talking to everybody again, bro.
Good talking to you, my brother.
I love that you're here. You got a great look, brother. That's all I can say. I love it. That's an NFT man. Right there.
Y'all take care, bro, man.
All right. You have a good night, man.
We want to thank everyone. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick. We're at 2 hours, 37 minutes. Been going at it a little bit, but a lot of things needed to be said and be brought to the forefront for the community of DigiByte as well as for Litecoin. And many other things were discussed within all of this. I want to thank all of y'all for showing up. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Get this out, share it, and we love you all. Y'all go make it a day.
Hey, later, bro.